Live on the internet, it's Sunday night. It's Superhero Speak featuring the return of the prodigal son, JD. He joins the guys tonight to tell us all about his newest book, Killing the Town. Plus, together they review the newest DCU film, Supergirl, and so much more. Now here are your hosts, Dave, Don, and JD.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to Superhero Speak. I'm your host, Dave.
I'm your other host, Don.
I'm the guy who was doing this, I guess. Where did that come from?
Yeah.
All right. I'll let you in a little dirty little secret. That's AI.
Golly. I mean, it was actually.
I know.
Yes.
No, sometimes it makes me balding. Sometimes it gives me Dave's facial hair.
Yes.
But,
I mean, it hit me pretty good. I assume that I actually did that at some point before I left. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty. I don't remember making that face.
It's funny, though, because that's YouTube's AI. So you can say, look at these videos and grab the people in there and put them on the thumbnail. So that's all. So there's plenty of images of you to grab from.
That's true. That's disturbing, actually. Hey, guys.
Hey.
Yes, everyone. JD is back for one night only. We're gonna talk about his new book. We're gonna talk about some Supergirl and a couple of little news articles. So, how are you, JD? How has life been in the year since we've last seen you on here?
Oh, busy. Coaching, wrestling. Got a new book coming. I mean, I'm good. I competed in the U.S. Open this year. I placed second in my age division.
Wow.
I really think I'm good enough to wrestle in the World Championships in my division right now. But they're in Jordan this year, so my wife has asked me not to. So I'm gonna hold out. I'm gonna hold out a year and just keep training and keep getting better. And I'm back writing again. I got my master's degree finally wrapped up and all that stuff. So I'm kind of back, feeling pretty good. The Mike and JD show is gone. Mike and I decided to walk from it. Mike is very, he wanted to run the Patreon. He wanted to have all this extra content. He made himself like the guy. And the problem is pro wrestling kind of sucks right now. And it's not a fun thing to talk about. So you could tell that on our show. And I just wanted to hang out in BS. And he was kind of like, I just don't feel like it. So we're at least taking a summer hiatus. And maybe you come back, maybe not. It's on Mike whether or not to decide. If not, I had 5 years with him on that show. So it was a lot of fun. But all good things must come to an end. And to be frank, it's given me more time to get back into writing again. I have a tendency to bite off more than I can chew, and I'm very happy just going on a show and BSing, whereas Mike wanted to be more bigger than that. And it's I kind of let him just run with everything. Well, I got to be the wacky little sidekick on his show, and it was I'm good at that. And it just got to be a little too much for him, I think. So I don't know. We'll see what tomorrow holds. If we're done, I had 9 years being a podcaster, and I'm good. I think I'm good.
Well, you're always welcome here. I mean, just if you want to pop in once in a while to bullshit with some people.
I may do that actually, just to have some fun. My wife enjoys having our Sunday nights back. So
I get that.
Yeah, but anytime you have a fire, just say, hey, I'm hopping on tonight. We'd be like, no problem.
I might do that actually, because I do have a fire that I'd like to not put out, but I'll go and expand and feed oxygen to.
Yes.
So, how are you guys, man?
Yeah. Okay. Don, what have you been up to since last week? Yeah.
Well, since last week, I know we talked about the Magic the Gathering Marvel pre-release event.
Yes.
But the cards actually came out. I got my box of boosters that I had to hide in the accounting, so the wife didn't see how that went down. And I put together my new Marvel. I actually pulled this really cool Iron Man. So I have this really cool Iron Man deck. My next one's going to be Submariner. But then I went to play on Friday, with my friends,
Right.
and busted out the new Iron Man deck and won. So I'm
Oh.
elated. That was awesome.
Cool.
And then, as with you gentlemen, I went and saw a movie on Saturday, and went to a place called Cedar Point, world-class roller coaster water park again today. Just got back from that. That's always fun. And now, here we are. So I'm doing pretty good, Dave. I guess, short story long. I'm doing great.
You're very good at the how you doing segment, keeping it like short. I BS too much.
Because I know no one cares.
No one cares?
Only you.
Only
I care.
But okay, there we go. Two people.
Care. That's what it comes down to. I'm doing okay. It's been an interesting week. Weather's been humid and rainy here all week, and I'm looking at this week coming up. We're going to hit 100 on a couple days, so that's not going to be fun. Exactly. I had this thought earlier today that not this past week, the week before, I reconnected with a friend I haven't really talked to in a while. He came over for dinner, and then tonight I got JD on. So it's like I'm in my reconnecting with old friends kind of mood, which is great.
So you're in your Ebenezer Scrooge phase, like you're being visited by your ghost.
Yes, my ghost of the past.
Yeah.
But I do have a somewhat of an announcement. Those who follow the show know that I started painting last year. Well, I've been painting for a long time, but really got into it last year. I'm gonna have my first piece in a gallery show coming up. Hold on, I have it on my phone so I could have the dates in front of me.
You've been taking on that hobby at a feverish pace, I gotta say.
Dude,
like it
July 9th to August 13th. Yeah.
I posted a photo on my Facebook page, I think in the early spring. And I just thought the sky looked pretty on the way to work. So I took a picture of it. It kind of moved me.
Yeah.
And then this lunatic painted it and sent it to me. Like, and it's gorgeous. I've got it hanging up in my office. Like,
nice.
It's
Yeah.
you're quite good at it, Dave. I have to say.
Yeah.
So this is the piece that will be displayed.
Nice.
This is actually one of the first paintings I did as well, and it's called Adrift, and it's just like a ghost ship adrift in the night. It's actually kind of how I felt at the time when I painted as well.
Sure.
So yeah. So it's the place is called the Icebox. It's in the Crane Arts Building, which is in downtown Philly. There's a studio in there called In Liquid that my girlfriend's son works at, and he heard about this, and it's just an open thing for amateur artists can submit their art. And he came up to me and he's like, "You should submit something." I'm like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah." And then he went through my Instagram, and he's like, he picked like 3, and he's like, "One of these," and that was one of the ones he picked. So I was like, "Okay," and yeah, they're gonna show it. So we'll see.
Congrats.
I mean, it's also one of those things where you put a price tag on it, and it's really weird to me to like say, I want this much for it. So we'll see if anyone buys it.
You don't know which deranged wealthy millionaire is going to come in and just have some sort of existential feeling looking at, and could drop the. I'd be like 10,000, like just to see.
It's yours for 10,000, Don. If you want.
I said I would list it for 10,000. No, me 10,000. I got to dice. I'm still building my deck.
Or he could offer to buy you and keep you shackled up in his basement so you can paint whatever strange things come to his mind. Hey, that's not bad. I got to write that down.
That's
kind of like Misery.
Kind
with art.
Except with art, you create at their disposal. Right? Like they say, "I want this, I want that," and they can't like cut your hands off because like that's where the money comes from. But they could like break your toes individually. Or like start peeling some skin back on your ankles.
Oh my god!
Yeah. Did you miss having me around?
A little bit. Of course. The other thing, Don. I think the other thing, JD. I'm sure you've seen by now. We're at 105,000 I think.
No,
Yeah.
we're at
That's-
106 somewhere.
106, 106,000. Okay.
It's amazing.
And yes. So we'll do our little, if you're watching and you haven't done so yet, click that like button, hit that subscribe button, click that little bell for notifications so you don't miss us when we go here live on Sunday nights. And yeah, join the what are you calling them, Don? The speakers?
Superhero speakers, baby. Yeah, that's right.
Yes. So we named our audience. So
Works.
But that's a funny that's a great idea with the whole painting. You capture the person you want them to paint, and then like you could give the painter phasmophobia, so then the villain like just dresses up his ghost and shit, and he's a fan of horror, so he uses all that to fuck with the painter and make him paint. Anyway, I'm a shit writer, but that's weird.
No, I don't hate that at all.
Well, you know who isn't a shit writer?
Right.
Our good friend JD.
That's right.
Oh,
You, my
Thanks.
friend, have a book to plug.
I do.
Killing the
I texted
Town.
Dave. I said, "Hey, can I come on the?" Sorry, I texted Dave. I said, "Hey, can I come on the show? I got a Kickstarter that's coming up," and Dave said yes. So yeah, I'm launching a Kickstarter next Monday. Excuse me, a week from tomorrow.
So, this is a new, like, this isn't part of your other books, right? This is a separate story.
Kind of. Everything kind of exists in the same universe. And what I've discovered is what I write, whether I'm doing supernatural, thriller, or even pro wrestling stuff. So when I was writing the pro wrestling book, the Gaijin,
There's a JD verse, you're saying?
Kind of. Not inadvertently that there kind of is one.
That's great.
There is. It's fun to do your own stuff and keep things in your own world. And then you get to keep kind of giving people reasons to buy more of your stuff. So this actually, I love this is kind of halfway between the stuff my brain is. This is a book. It's a novella, actually. It's about 140 pages. It's one of the shortest books I've ever written, and it took me the longest of anything that I've ever written. This took me 2 years to write.
Oh wow!
So this is like it's a territorial story of when I say it takes place in the 1980s. Professional wrestling, right back then, everything was carved into its little like fiefdoms. And these are the dying days. And it starts off as like this kind of like I don't want to say political intrigue, but like, kind of a drama set in the dying territories and devolves into a straight horror story. So this is basically a story of these guys are in a territory in Calgary, Alberta, and they do they call them death tours. This was a real thing. They would tour the Native American reservations in the northern part of the provinces. So what happens is their van breaks down and they have to survive a night in the woods with the Wendigo. So and it's really a story of greed and consumption. And I was going through some stuff. Like I had this idea, I don't remember when, but a time ago. But the idea for the story really came together when I was writing Gaijin, which was a total pro wrestling. And I actually kind of hint at this story at some point during that novel. And I was planning it to be my next thing, but I couldn't quite find the right angle for it. And about 2.5 years ago is when my dad passed away, and I was going through a lot of personal struggles at the time. When I started therapy, and I remember here times, and I would just kind of emote. I was really, really struggling to go through it. So this is it kind of gave me the hook to write this thing and really kind of exercise my demons a little bit. And I think that's why it was so hard to finish. I had to tap to some emotions that I wasn't quite ready to exercise yet. Like I wasn't quite ready to either let them go or to put them to rest. And so it took me a long time. That on top of just life being what it is. And I think there was part of me that didn't want to finish it. Like I didn't want to let go. And I finally sat down and said, all right, it's time to really finish this thing. It's time to kill this monster, as it were. So, it's consequently, this is kind of the meanest thing I've ever written.
Wow.
It's dark. Like nobody's great as a person, but I mean, there is a redemptive arc. Like usually you beat the monster in this story. Like the monster isn't really beaten. He just kind of exists, and we learn to live away from it. So I'm really proud of how this thing turned out. I mean, at one point about this time last year, I kind of gave up on it. I'm like, I hate this book. This book sucks. Like, this is a great way to market your own book, by the way, by saying this. But this is really for me, like, I don't like where I'm at. I don't like where I'm at. So you kind of had to walk away from it. And then I came back because I feel like after a couple of years of just, going through the shit, that I feel like I'm out the other side. And like, this book was like, it was like pulling teeth to finish, because it was like, sometimes it's like pulling teeth to kind of fix yourself a little bit. And I wound up with a story about, greed and the evils of capitalism, I guess, which wasn't my intention to write, but that's kind of what came out. And it's really an angry story that I think only I could write, because actually I did some experimentation. I'm like, what other professional wrestling horror books are there out there? And according to my good friend ChatGPT, none. Like, there's nothing like this as far as like a novel or a novella goes on the market. So I'm pretty proud of the fact that I was able to kind of come up with something unique. I wasn't trying. It just is the way my brain kind of operates. And I kind of leaned into giving myself a chance to play with AI a lot in this project, just because I just wanted to try and see what it could do. So a lot of the art that we use in the Kickstarter art, I'm putting out quotations, a lot of the imagery I used in the Kickstarter is that I did an audio book, which I'm going to be totally honest, is AI narrated. I just wanted to experiment with it, see if it would work. I don't know if it's going to be the final version that becomes the audiobook. I just wanted to try. And that's what a lot of this book is just about experimentation. So I wanted to kind of carry that into the campaign. A lot of this campaign is just experimenting. Like, does this work? Does this not? And I think the product, the final novel, is pretty damn good. And I just wanted to play around with the Kickstarter a little bit. And I just, I said, I dig this story. It comes from a very dark place inside of me, and I'm glad to be out of it, quite frankly.
It's funny because did you use 11 Labs when you did the voice stuff?
As a matter of fact, I did.
Yeah, because 11 Labs at the free level, you can do so much for a month for free. And I don't know if you noticed, we have an announcer who sounds very much like the Saturday Night Live announcer at the beginning of the show. And the funny thing is, like, I would do, like, because I did stuff like that early on in the podcast, and I would do retake after retake after retake. This, I could just write up what I wanted to say, plop it in, and it's done in 5 seconds. So, it's nice.
It is nice, but it's me. So I couldn't just do that. So I did it chapter by chapter, and then because I kind of write a lot of automatopoeias in my work, because I come from comics, right?
Okay.
Comic brain.
Yeah.
So instead of doing the automatopoeias, I would cut them out and I would insert sound effects and stuff like that. And I created some synthwave music to kind of put in there. So I just guess this is all very experimental. I don't know. I think that's what's beautiful about Kickstarter is that it gives you a chance to just to try. Like, hey, let's try to do something cool. And I think that's what we got here. It's a nice little experimentation, and I'm proud of the gritty, gory results.
So when does the campaign launch?
Campaign launch is next Monday. This Monday, not this upcoming Monday, but the following Monday. So you guys are a week, but you can follow the campaign now. I'm sure Dave's going to attach the notes
and in the description
link in the notes.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm sure. Thank you very much. So if you go on there now, you can follow the campaign, so you'll be the first one notified when it launches. Pretty dope by this. You're going to be able to get the novel. We're now, like the paperback, we're also going to be doing hardcovers, which I just started playing with Gaijin. Really loved how that turned out. So we're going to do that with this sucker too. Like I said, you got audiobooks for this thing. I'm going to do a director's commentary, which is something I tried with Gaijin. Really happy with that. And I think that I kind of tipped on it a little bit with this. I'm going to kind of really dig into my psyche as I was writing this thing, and really kind of emote even further kind of where I was at the time. And we got some really cool things. And my favorite thing as always is, be a character. So I'm hoping that I'm gonna have to rename somebody John O'Grady, as I have with every single one of my books so far.
John, if you're watching, because I have no idea. You're gonna have to reach out to him maybe, because
I'm going to, because he's always good for money.
I haven't heard from him in over a year, so I don't know what's going on with him. But
hope he's good.
Yeah, so do I. So if you are watching, John, by some miracle, maybe you saw JD was on tonight, so you decided to watch. Make sure you got to keep the tradition going. It's not the same if the John O'Grady doesn't die in a JD.
I need to kill John. I need to kill you. I just continue. It's become it's a running gag with us, and I need it. And there's a lot of people that die in this book, so one of them should be a John O'Grady.
Is it possible to buy the tier and just say, my name is John O'Grady, even if...
Dude, you could buy the tier and say Richard Nixon, and I'll do it. I'm a whore. I'm a whore. Give me money, and I will do it. Like, it doesn't matter. Actually, you could kill Richard Nixon in this book. It does take place in 1987. So why not?
I do have a question about that, because we've talked about this before. When you're writing a book like this, do you have like, oh, this is a character I can replace? How many of those do you kind of set up beforehand?
Before I started doing this, I never did that. But then when it became a successful, when I did the Harvest Moon Kickstarter back in 2020, I wound up having to change a couple names, and it went fine. And then I kind of started flagging. I'm like, okay, this works pretty good. So but then I kind of insert a character, and I don't really get into the descriptions because I have a hunch that I'm going to have to eventually. So I just kind of leave that waiting. But if it doesn't work, it's fine. It doesn't look like, it's not like it's like it hurts the story if I don't get super granular describing the one character, because it's been John the last couple times. I've gotten to have fun and do but I got to do like alternate takes on his name or alternate takes on his appearance, like different personalities and stuff like that, just so I can have a little bit of fun with it. Like in Gaijin, John O'Grady was a Minnesota drug runner. So I mean, like, it was kind of a fun thing to do. So in my head, I got to imagine like this parallel universe version of John, because in my head it was John that he looked like him. So it was really fun to kind of tweak and like do the most like debased version of John. I remember one time when I did the Kickstarter for Red Sunrise, my Japanese vampire story, I had to find the Japanese translation of O'Grady. And I created like a feudal era Japanese John, which was like weird, but it kind of worked at the same time. And again, he was like this gruff prisoner, and it was different. So I mean, like, it's kind of fun to not pick on your friends, but get to imagine like various like debased, vile versions of them and what they would look like in that world. So it's pretty cool. Like I said, it's a lot of fun.
With John, it's fun.
John's awesome. And because he loves it too, like he gets into it. Like John would be like, he would throw me like suggestions for like ways in which I could kill him and stuff like that. Like he was all about it.
I mean, if you're doing wrestling and sometimes you have to go to South America, Guano Greatest.
not South America. This one is all in Canada, actually. So I gotta be. Okay. And it's I think the O'Grady John A. Yeah, don't you know? So it's this was a fun one.
And
Pirate John must be great. Hello, Kasan. Oh, look. Fucking D.
That's me.
Kasan missed you.
Kasan, how you doing, man? Good, long time no see. Here, read.
James said, I love that concept, but God, I'd be scared of half Undertaker, half Wendigo.
Like the Wendigo, like it's kind of funny because like I won't get too much of it, but the horror stuff is very separate from the actual wrestling stuff, which is kind of cool. Like we've got a character who's slowly losing himself to the supernatural force, and it affects his performance. And then after a particularly bad performance, he just fully embraces the Wendigo, and like he kills a promoter in the locker room and like eats him basically. So I mean, like it's kind of fun to play. And in Gaijin, I really like had two separate narratives going. Like I had the kayfabe narrative, which I totally played like in the world, and then we had the real world. So I didn't do that in this one. In this one, you know, everyone's kind of talking about like the work and stuff like that. So, but it was fun to have like, it was fun to do it differently this time because I wanted to make sure I was writing another wrestling book. I didn't want to just repeat the same stuff I did last time. I try to portray it differently. So this is, like I said, this one, because it's a horror novel, I really got to steer into it. And it's really got a lot of like winks and nods to my other horror stuff. Like it takes place a good 35 years before the rest of the books and I write about, but it's like, there's a couple little things you go, oh, okay. Cause I did previously write a Wendigo book called Snowblind. So it was a challenge to me. It was a challenge to go back and write a monster, the same monster that you did before, and do it in a completely different way. So this was, like I said, it was if you read Snowblind, you can say, oh yeah, it's the same. That's the same character, or it's the same villain. but it's different at the same time. Like it was
right.
It's not, because it's not defeated here. It's not the same. And it's a character. This is a character that I actually introduced in an earlier Jericho book. So, but 35 years earlier. So it's, like I said, it's fun to play in your own sandbox. It's like you get to take your toys out, and even ones you haven't played with in a couple years, and find new things with them.
Right. Cool. Thrawn, Jar Jar Binks, Misa, your honor. Yes, I need your Brie Larson.
Ron always with his Brie Larson reference.
Yes, it's a running thing with Thrawn.
Mm.
That Don started, from one little joke. I'm driving to my local hookah cafe. I'll be doing the conversation earnest soon. I'm glad to see you, J-Day. Also, hello, fellas. Hello, Kassan. All right.
Hey, Kassan.
Yeah,
enjoy your hookah.
Do not get into an accident while you're driving.
That would be bad.
So, yes. And James, what did he say here? It's still an interesting idea. I want to see a wedding do the atomic elbow drop. Oh, Wendigo do the atomic elbow drop.
I didn't do that. I should have. I still may. I don't know.
James is going to give you ideas. All right. Cool. So definitely, I think, I'll obviously contribute once it kicks off next week. Everyone watching this now or after the fact, make sure you're following the Kickstarter. Again, link is in the description below. And yeah, let's help JD retire off of this book.
Yeah. I don't expect that, but that's cool.
I try and tune into a wrestling show every now and then.
Well,
Frosty, JD,
That's
everyone's
right.
so happy to see you. You can't leave.
I know.
Sorry.
Probably negotiate with my
right.
agent. Maybe.
Let us know in the comments if Dave should fire me and hire back JD.
No.
I know.
First off,
I
want to have 3 hosts again anyway, so that if people need to be off, we can still do the show with 2.
So instead of 2 hours, we'll go 3. No,
oh, we used to do that.
No.
There were some times back in the day where we would push that thing well past 2 hours.
Oh yeah, no. Me and Dave have an active goal. Like, hey, we're gonna keep it to an hour, and we just fucking yap, and then Thrawn and Kassan egg us on because they love the 2-3 hour stuff. I don't necessarily not like it either. I don't give a shit. I'll be here all night.
I can bullshit forever. Mike was
right
hard 1 hour every time. We would get to 59 minutes and 48 seconds, and he would cut off the middle of the conversation, like, you can find him on the Mike Judy Patreon show, and he would just start speaking like John Machine did, incredibly fast, and then end the stream. Because he knew I wasn't going to shut up.
All right. Well, let's give your vocal cords a break for a minute. Let's have our good friend Dark Don tell you, if you're not subscribed yet, what you should be doing.
Dark Don here. Superhero Speak has reached over 100,000 subscribers, which is good. That means I can stop feeding victims to my pet Gundark in a box, Brie Larson. She's getting too fat, and she won't even chase her prey. I'm also getting tired of cleaning up all the excrement. The Force makes it easy, but it still stinks like the inside of a wampa stuffed with banta poodoo. Now, become a superhero speaker and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Like the video and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss one upload of Superhero Speak.
All right. Don's crazy. What do you want?
Yes.
Do you have a couple of news articles? And no, that's right. I gotta play this or Don gets upset.
That's right.
Did it go?
we go. Now I'm in a news mood.
You guys got like a budget and
Yes,
stuff now. Crazy.
I've had that video for a while. We got two articles to talk about.
Canva.
We got 2 articles to talk about. The first one, is this it? Yeah. So obviously we're going to talk a little bit of MCU news, Endgame. There's this just kind of more of a question for you guys. Kind of curious. They're having this Endgame encore before Doomsday comes out, where they supposedly have added scenes that is going to link Endgame to Doomsday. So it's being hush hush. They're saying that they might show somehow how it links to Doctor Doom's origin. I don't know about that, but I'm curious. A, are you guys going to go see it in the theater, or is this something you'd rather wait for Disney Plus? And 2, do you think it's an important thing to do, or do you think they should be able to just do Doomsday without having to add this little bit in? And I'm not Don. JD, you go first since you're the guest.
I find it interesting. I think this is kind of an admission of failure on the I think of a wave of Marvel MCU stuff that we're on right now, but I think it's an admission that everything we've been doing since Endgame has kind of faltered for the most part. There have been some good stuff, but a lot of it is, I think, failed to connect with a larger audience. I do think superhero movie burnout is a thing. We'll discuss that later. We were talking about that 2 years ago when I was on the show.
Oh yeah,
right.
Oh yeah.
I feel like everything Marvel is homework now, and I've been saying that for a long time too. And at the same time, as a guy who likes to go back and rewrite his own stuff and retweak things, I don't hate the idea, because I do think that this Doomsday thing is out of left field. Like, just thematically, narratively speaking, right? We've done nothing to set up the Doctor Doom character, with the exception of one post-credit sequence at the end of Fantastic Four. All we're doing is saying, hey, Robert Downey Jr. is back, and this time he's a villain. Please buy our movie. So, like, I feel like that's work. I feel like that's a strong enough marketing hook to get a lot of people back in. So I don't hate them for trying to connect it better thematically. I do, or narratively speaking, I should say. I do feel like, though, it's an admission that everything we've been doing since then hasn't worked.
Okay. All right. What about you, Don? I know you're not a fan of the Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom casting.
Oh yeah, not at all. In fact, it's the only reason that I'm giving pause for Doomsday. Otherwise, I'm excited as hell, because the whole RDJ thing, they're trying to get people interested in, but then you followed it up with, oh, and by the way, here's all these fucking cool X-Men. I'm like, hey, I say no more. But the stunt casting thing, I don't know. If they can write it out well enough after this one movie and give us a real Doctor Doom, we'll see. I'm open-minded, but it's the one thing that gives me pause. As far as this right here, James Gunn opened the door with what he did with his kind of edit of the end of Peacemaker with the Justice League.
True.
And believe me, this is also a total cash grab. They do this, they re-release movies that are trying to jockey for position on the top revenue list or whatever. So it's a total cash grab, which I will absolutely be grabbing the cash out of my pocket and give it to the movie person so I could watch this, because Endgame is a wonderful movie, and you're only going to have so many times to see it in theaters, and we're going to get some more stuff from Doctor Doom. Look at the Avatar movie when it had the Doomsday, the different Doomsday trailers. Yeah. And boom, it comes out and it makes $1 million. Nobody gives a shit about Avatar. However, you put an Avatar movie in the theater, boom, somehow you get $1 million, no problem. How much that is Avatar? How much that is Doomsday? But still,
Endgame.
Endgame, sir.
I don't know. I mean, like, the Avatar movies are some of the highest grossing movies of all time, despite me not knowing a single person who's ever gone to the theater and seen one.
Exactly.
It's so weird. Like, but there is a group of people that live and die for the Avatar movies. There has to be, just based on the fact that they keep making them, they keep making a shit ton of money.
I saw the first one because there was so much hype about it, and I'm like, it's Pocahontas in space. And then I'd never saw.
It's Fern Gully.
Oh, true.
The fans of Avatar have, because I have a second job and I get to talk to a lot of young people, and so I've talked and so I've searched for these Avatar fans, and I found some.
Oh, okay.
And so I did, and they really just shut the fuck up until the next movie comes out. Like she said all of us, yeah, we love it, but we're not sitting there watching it over and over again. They don't do the nerd thing that we do, where we got to sit here and hash over every fucking, which I love. That's us.
Is it possible the Avatar fans live fuller, more fulfilled lives than the rest of us nerds? Wow,
absolutely.
You just made me question my whole existence.
Right, I know. It's same. What do I know? What is left? What is right? Up is down.
I want to address Thrawn's comment here. Homework? ? Yeah, because we've talked about this. We've talked about this. Is that for like years. Comics, the movies have now created a barrier of entry where you have to have seen X, Y, and Z before you can go see the new movie, or there's things in it that don't make sense. The girlfriend and I were talking about the new Spider-Man movie, and she's like, I just realized I haven't seen any of the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies yet. So, and I'm like, were you going to go with me? She's like, maybe we'll have to watch at least one of them. So, yeah.
My first episode on this show, we reviewed Homecoming.
Oh my God. That's true. So yeah, I like the idea. I kind of feel like like Don's 100% right. It's a cash grab. I would have preferred if they had just put it on Disney Plus. I would have gladly sat and watched it. Now, because I'm a podcaster with no life, I have to go see this in the theater so we can talk about it.
I don't necessarily. It's just funny because I was just watching Matt Draper's YouTube page. By the way, it's great YouTube page. Never watched it. He was talking about how I like to watch his stuff on the Universal monster movies, right? And he was talking about how the Universal monster movies kind of ebbed in the mid 30s, right? And then they did a triple feature re-release of Frankenstein, Dracula, and Son of Kong for some reason, and it slayed. It made massive amounts of money, and it reignited the Universal monster movies into the 40s, launching Werewolf and all the rest of the second half of that stuff. So this is not something that Disney has created for this. People have re-released movies as long as they've been releasing movies. So I don't think it's like definitely a cash grab, because these studios, they have to make money. I understand that. There's absolutely a cash grab, but I don't think it's an unprecedented cash grab.
Yeah.
Kassan, this is a Kassan. Man, I haven't read a Kassan quote like this in years. And this brings me right back. I'll do this. Kassan Warren says, Endgame is a mediocre movie when you take into consideration how they removed the lost stakes from Infinity War. Yeah, that's true, but I think we all knew going in that they weren't going to keep Spider-Man dead. Right. I don't think anybody was. I think it's like a comic book. Like when you read a comic book, we know that nothing is permanent. Nothing is going to stick. So the question isn't a matter of how will they deal with this? It's how are they going to get out of this? It's essentially the same as we watch the 60s Batman and he's hung upside down swinging above a giant buzzsaw, right? He's going to get out. The question is how. So I think that's more the way you have to look into these movies, because they are IP. You can't view them, or you shouldn't, I should say, view them the way you would like a normal movie, because the rules are different.
Agreed 100%.
It is a genre for a reason,
Yeah. I mean, and it's funny too, because it's one of the things, total aside, it's one of the things in my mind that really hurts the MCU is the fact that they didn't recast T'Challa, because it's like he died off screen, because he died in real life. Unfortunately, Chadwick Boseman died, so he died off screen. So you don't get the hero moment. Like they could have CGI'd him in his suit saving someone, and then
that would have been.
I would have been bad too.
Yeah.
I know.
But that's
I
why
agree
they
with.
really should have just recast them.
I know. They should have, but at the time it was so emotional, the whole situation. Like, I agree with you, but I really have started to see both sides of that.
It do. Shark repellent spray sells it.
Hey.
It do.
Yeah, I mean, I see both sides of it, but again, it's just because of people like Hassan, and he's got a point. Like,
it does for sure.
About stakes, and like, okay, there's a chance where they could have shown superhero stakes or something, and since they're not going to because they're all properties, they should have recast them. It kind of, I felt it cheapened his legacy, believe it or not, by not recasting him. Because like, I believe he's such an important character to the MCU, Black Panther, that
I think they handled it as good as they could have. Like, sure, he was the Black Panther in the comics, so it does stay in continuity. I forget the name of the Black Panther. Wakanda Forever is a good movie that I saw one time. Like it was, because it was just like, the whole movie is a reminder that it's like an epitaph for Chadwick Boseman, and it serves to that point, and you feel it.
Yeah.
And then you can put it up here on the shelf and never look at it again. Right? Because I don't feel like it's a fun, and it's not a bad movie by any stretch of imagination. It's just not a fun movie. And it reminds you of the real life consequences of like an unfortunate, calling loss of Chadwick Boseman unfortunate is just like, it downplays it so much. Like it's sad. I don't think there was a good way for them out. They're damned if they do, they're damned if they don't. Just kind of fucked in all corners. Kassan says, but I think superhero fatigue is founded on poor storytelling and the homework required to keep up. I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Yeah. But I think we're to the point now with the superhero fatigue that becomes the narrative now of anything that doesn't hit all four quadrants, which I think is what we're going to talk about in a minute.
Yes. Yeah. All right. So we'll probably watch it for the podcast. And then you guys can wait till Disney Plus. But we have one other quick news article that Don brought, and it's actual comic book news, kind of. So Heather Antos, who is the editor is an editor over at IDW, called for a X-Men boycott because of sorry, I can't read the small.
John Byrne. Because John Byrne is a transphobic and whatnot, which is, there's no proof there, and he's invented characters, very famous ones that are LGBT. So yeah, that's ridiculous. So it fell flat on its face, as one would think. But I don't get this.
She's been called out online for it. It's what makes it a story to me isn't the fact, because obviously there are people online who will always go, "Oh, got to boycott this, you got to boycott that." But this is an actual person in the industry saying boycott a creator and another work from a different publisher. Like,
to be fair, we're talking about Heather Antos, somebody whose career was she was vilely targeted by people who ran boycotts against anything that she was involved with for years. So is this a case of the goose and the gander, or is this just, I don't know enough about this. Like, John Byrne is a legendarily crusty motherfucker. So I don't know anything about him being transphobic or whatever. I couldn't say it would surprise me, to be honest.
I can't remember what it was, but there's a throwaway line in one of the books he wrote that has been taken as transphobic, but there's nothing that backs that up. But yeah, like, she's up in arms saying to boycott him, and the thing is, like, she got backlash online, but she's not backing down from it.
Heather Antos is getting backlash. She's the milkshake girl. right? She's the girl who got attacked online because she posted a picture of her friend when she was working at Marvel. She was the one who got a bunch of shit because she posted a bunch of women. Oh boy, I'm glad you posted this, Don. She got a bunch of shit because her and her female friends who happen to work in comics posted a picture, and then all the right-wing chuds came out and were like, how dare these women, blah, 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 blah. And it basically helped push her out of Marvel because she became toxic because she's a chick. And then I think, quite frankly, she's become a little bitter toward anything who is remotely on that side. Is this an overreaction of sorts? Probably.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, I think her entire career is now connected to massive overreaction to her presence. So I think, like I said, I think this, I don't want to call it a course correction, but I can understand the vitriol from her. Perhaps it's unwarranted, perhaps not. Like I said, I don't know enough about what John Byrne has done in this regard. I do know that John Byrne is a legendary asshole in comics. There are stories for decades of John Byrne being a dick. So, but again, I don't think that just being a dick is enough reason to boycott something. I don't know enough about it, but I get it, the source of this intrigues me for that reason.
Well, and the thing is, it's like, it's John Byrne. A lot of people love his writing, so they're gonna buy the book regardless.
Oh, for sure. That's why Marvel's doing it.
Exactly. Regardless of what somebody, even in the industry, says. So, yeah, like,
I just feel that, I mean, what JD said obviously is, I mean, I love what panache, JD. Thank you for adding all that context,
panache, good word.
On the that's love it. But with all that said, I get it. She's bitter because the chuds, which I know they really are bad. They really do. Being a middle-aged incel really must be tough on the brain to just make you go ape shit. But why would you hurt the industry? I guess like that's my only thing. Like, we need to like heal and have relationships. And I guess she could be the better person here and not be that way. But I see your point, JD. I mean, it is what it is. I've never, I've been called fat and whatnot over the internet, but nothing that ever really actually disturbs me.
I mean,
I don't know what it's like.
I think you have to have a lot of thick skin in this. And I don't know how serious she is about, I mean, she could say a boycott. Regardless, it's not going to, I don't know how many people are actually going to boycott this stuff. Twitter.
Well, no, they didn't.
Yeah, it's not real. Like,
yeah,
because
the article goes on to tell you that they made 25,000 copies of the book in the first printing, and it's sold out.
I mean, quite frankly, I mean, in all honesty, the market for John Byrne's X-Men is not the people she's talking to anyway.
Yeah,
like,
right.
There's not a lot of Zoomers that are going to line up to buy alternate continuity X-Men from before Don and I were born, which is what we're really talking about here.
Right.
Yes.
So, I mean, I don't know. Like, I get where she's coming from, but I think she's more making a statement than anything because, well, quite frankly, boycotts of anything don't work. Twitter isn't real,
Right.
Not anymore.
I got kicked off of Twitter. So
what?
Oh, yeah.
Wait.
Someone hacked my Twitter account.
Oh,
right?
That's right. Yes.
And then unfollowed everyone, changed my name. My old Twitter account is now Stephen Miller, which is just, if someone was looking to troll me, it was just the most epic job of trolling of all time. Kudos to whatever chud did that. They win the day. So I actually got my Twitter handle back, but it's like, God, I had thousands of followers, and having to restart that is just like, ugh, it's too bad.
That's right. I forgot, because like all of a sudden I was getting these weird messages, and I'm like,
my bad.
I'm like, is this you? And like they didn't respond, and that's It's like, oh, he was hacked.
He sure was. But yeah, so
X
I don't
is
think
dead.
I don't think that this is like I think it's just, I think what she inadvertently did is gave more attention to it than she probably wanted to.
Yes.
Like,
I think
I don't think we would have talked about this if she doesn't bring it up.
I think you're eloquently putting a spin on this that really is like two main things with that. One, her audience on X, Blue Sky, or whatever platform she's on are not the people that are reading this book. So who she's telling to boycott it, if there's a small crossover, maybe. But two, you're right. Somebody who's a publisher at a competing company editor at a competing publisher. That's what I meant to say. Going online and saying this, and then it becomes a thing, and all these outlets start covering it, even like us, and start talking about it. It makes it a bigger thing, and it makes people who were like, "Oh, wait, I didn't know John Byrne has a book coming out. I'm going to go check it out."
Yeah,
sold them more copies.
I agree. I don't think boycotts of anything are the way to deal with business, unless you're talking about something like particularly egregious. Like in this case, like if John, and then maybe John Byrne is doing all kinds of live streams talking against trans people, and I just haven't seen it, so I can't. I don't think that's happened. And if I'm wrong, I'll take the L on it, because I just don't know enough.
I would think if he was, it would be everywhere. It would have been on all the outlets that we follow. You know.
But that being said, like people have been talking about how much of a dickhead John Byrne is since the late 70s. So I'm like, I can't be surprised he's pissed somebody off. But I mean, like, I don't know. I do feel like she's inadvertently given this more oxygen than it probably would have had otherwise. Because like I said, and Marvel does these alternate universe things all the time. And the vast majority of them kind of fade away. Like, how many times have they redone Chris Claremont's like X-Men? Like Chris Claremont, I remember about a decade ago they did a series of Chris Claremont's it continued from essentially X-Men 3 on. Like, and I think that this might have worked in there's a term I'm looking for and I can't think of what it is. Like it didn't work as she planned.
Well, I call it the Chick-fil-A effect. Remember when people wanted to protest them, and my own wife called it like 6 o'clock an hour late because she's in goddamn line for Chick-fil-A because they're being protested, so we're going to support them. So that group of people, they tend to do that. You boycott, and then they give them a bunch of fucking money. So I would just stay away from that tactic. Either way.
Yeah, agreed. Like, that's the whole thing. When you make a big deal about something, because I think like that's why I talked about her doubling down on it, where she could have just put that out there and then let it go, you know, and probably would have lost steam very quickly, you know, but she kept it up. So here we are talking about it on a Sunday night. So you let us know in the comments down below. Are you going to get X-Men Elseworlds, or are you going to boycott it? I mean, you got to wait for second printing because it's sold out.
So I do trades. That's it anymore.
It's weird to think that, you know, 25,000, like, that's a lot, but it's like that's it anymore.
It's not 25,000 is not that much. But again, with the limited market, like, it wasn't going to be like a top 10 seller anyway. Like, this is a very niche product. So, you know, Marvel, they weren't that crazy about it. 25,000 is still in this day fairly small, especially for a big 2 publisher. So, you know, whatever. Like I said, it's got its fan base that they're going to read it, and they're not going to be moved one way or the other. And the people that would have been weren't going to read it to begin with. So it is what it is. And I'm not reading it because I don't read much Marvel to begin with. I'm a DC guy, and I'm all about the absolute world right now.
Well,
absolute Batman's the best thing on the market. Sorry.
Have you checked out Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man Brand New Day yet by our good friend Dan Slott?
No. I'm surprised we're good friends with Dan Slott. I remember back in the day when Dan Slott you guys hated Dan.
Now you're taking me off. Now you're taking me off. It shows you're not watching the show.
I haven't. I don't watch anything. I don't listen to any podcasts, period. Because I was podcasting.
He was on the show like a month ago.
I know. I shared. I did share. But I'm not reading Spider-Man. I was reading Dan Slott's Superman Unlimited, which is all right.
Okay. All right. Well, let's talk about DC then. Let's talk about a movie that I think we all went and saw. Possibly. I hope we all went and saw it.
Toy Story 5? Is that what we're talking about? Toy Story 5?
No. That's next week, Don.
Toy Story 5 with the kid.
Before we get into anything here, I want to ask you guys, in all seriousness, about your movie going experience, because it's going to tie into the whole conversation.
All right.
I'll start. I went this morning, so I went on a Sunday morning. There were 5 people total in the theater, me and 4 other people. So I'm kind of curious. Don, I did talk to you. You had a similar experience?
Yeah, I mean, I went. It was on noon on a Saturday, which again, admittedly, is not prime time for movie theaters. But yeah, it was me, my two daughters, and like four other people in the theater. That was
Yeah.
it. But
How about you,
again,
JD?
noon on a Saturday, it's not.
Did you have a crowd?
I went on 7:00 Saturday evening.
Ooh, okay.
There's maybe 20 people in the theater.
All right, better, but not okay.
Yeah. So let's start as we always like to do. I like to go do the numbers. As of this stream, it has made 68 million worldwide for a $180 million budget, which is not good. It's higher than the original predictions. I think the original predictions were 45 million.
Yeah, there was sub 50. I mean, it's Masters of the Universe level of success, and they said that they were good with it. So,
can I tell you guys something that's Dave's not going to talk about? Did you guys know this movie made $100 million before a ticket was sold?
No, do tell.
No,
Maybelline.
Okay. We don't normally talk about product tie-ins. I know that there's quite a few product tie-ins.
$100 million specifically from Maybelline, because we had that commercial. You guys, I got pissed when I was watching the trailers. Which, by the way, I love watching trailers, but when I don't like watching trailers for Coke. I don't need it. There were 3 Coke commercials during the trailer and the Maybelline commercial during the trailers. And I'm like, I'm getting commercials during the trailers. But then if I'm Warner Brothers, Maybelline goes, we will give you $100 million to connect our product to this. You say, okay, especially if you know those grosses might not be as high as you'd like.
Yes. And that's all well and good, but I'm just talking about, because there's other product tie-ins too that I'm sure are going to make money, but I'm talking about just the general interest. That's why I mentioned the box office.
But that's the thing, though, is like, I think we have to take if we're going to slant this as to one way or the other, which we can't do. Is we learned in the 1980s,
right?
The 1980s, that we cannot sit there and say the box office was bad, ergo it was a failure. When we've seen this time after time after time, when movies. Because let's be honest, movies are products, right? We want to sit there and talk about how a movie is art, how a movie is this, how a movie is that, when in reality, it's a widget. And that's the way these companies look at these things. They are widgets. Yeah. One way it makes money is from asses and seats. And granted, they want the number one way it makes money to be asses and seats. But the way, we can't compare, we talked about this long ago, the way movies reviewed 2019 and prior are different now. Right? You're never going to have those box office numbers that we had a decade ago because things go to streaming so quickly nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is the box office, the budgets keep getting higher. So, I mean, studio accounting always makes sure the movie loses money anyway. So, I don't know. They're all failures. That's what it comes down to when it comes to writing those. When it comes tax time, everything failed. Nothing works. Everything is bad.
All right. Well, let's move on then to the critic scores and the audience score over on Rotten Tomatoes. It got a 56 from the critics, but a 77% from the audience. So, again, the audience and the critics don't agree, but it's still pretty low audience score. It's not like it didn't knock it out of the park. Let's just say that with the audience. And then, of course, we did our patented polls over on X, formerly Twitter. I want to refresh before I say this.
5 people exist.
No, we got 15 votes on this one. We asked, what do you think of Supergirl? Any more, JD? I just give them 3 options. It was great. It was okay. I didn't like it.
That's better.
It was great. 1 out with 66%, and I didn't care for it. Is 33%. So right down the middle. And I also do the poll over on our home now, YouTube. and split between it was okay and I didn't like it at 50%. So this is a very mixed movie reaction.
Very divisive. Very divisive.
Yes, very divisive for a number of reasons, and we'll probably get into some of those. But before we get to all of that, as always, you remember this, JD, let's give our non-spoiler reactions to Supergirl. And JD, you can go first.
I liked it. I walked in. I was excited when they first announced it because I really liked Millie Alcock on Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon. I thought she was great. They announced her as Kara. I'm like, it's good casting. Like the end of Superman, so I was looking forward to the movie. And then when the critics stuff started leaking last week and the buzz started to be really bad, I kind of went, oh man, I guess this sucks. So I went because my wife's been really looking forward to seeing this movie. So I went in expecting not much. Like I expected it to be not great. And about halfway through it, I looked at my wife and I said, I don't get hate. I don't get the vitriol this movie has gotten. I didn't like it nearly as much as I liked Superman. Let's get that out right of the way. But at the end of it, I thought it was pretty good. And I'm going to share with you guys Michelle Oliva's conspiracy theory, not mine, but my wife's when we get deeper in the movie. But I thought it was pretty good. And I think it bucked the trend of typical superhero movies. Like it wasn't really a superhero movie, which might be part of the problem. But like I think that I think it was a lot of much ado about nothing as far as a lot of the online reaction goes.
Okay. Don.
Yeah. You know, going into this movie, I was actually starting to get really annoyed about how many times I had to see Millie Alcock's face transposed with a caveman's face. It was like that joke is so hack. It's just been so hack and so overdone. And I shared in chuckling in that joke a little bit. JD said, you know, House of Dragon. I remember thinking like, oh, they cast her because she kind of looks inbred like a Targaryen because she plays a Targaryen in it. Okay. So like, I get the whole she's not the most prettiest, but they way overdid it. So I really said like, you know what? I'm really going to go in this with a positive bias at this point because they're just getting it. This is their only point. And I'm with JD. I liked it. It's not Shakespeare. It's not Endgame. It's an hour and a half,
short
3-day adventure. 3-day adventure, much like The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And this is where I think the chuds or whatever you want to call them are getting it twisted. Where like, you know, Star Wars fans do this. It's like if it's not the ultimate space opera, they talk trash about it. And it's like, no, if the Star Wars does not have a numeral in its title, it's not saga. It's, you know, so yeah, I liked it. I mean, there's certainly things I didn't like about it, like the lighting. Nobody had a light in front of them. I thought maybe Zack Snyder was some sort of consultant on this film. So that was kind of weird. You know, some of the writing, James Gunn didn't direct this, but you still got the James Gunn tinge to it that I'm just not quite a fan of. I like the epic superhero composed music instead of just, you know, I mean, Iron Man did it good with AC/DC and Black Sabbath, but that's pretty much it. I don't like the James Gunn music choices, which again, he didn't direct, but his influence is all over it. But outside of that, I thought the action was cool. I know that the actress that plays Supergirl says it wasn't for Christian dads. I disagree. I think this is very much for dads, particularly if you're a dog dad or a regular dad. Like, it made me feel shit. I think they have some good scenes
if
here.
you have a daughter, would be
yeah, which I took 2 daughters to it, so guess where I'm at with it. And yeah, it was a fun little romp. It also, I'm not trying to get into spoilers, but I think it's set up because I agree with JD. It's not a superhero movie, but it does set up a superhero. And I truly do think this is where she earns her stripes, as it were. And so now we can see her in a Superman or Justice League movie or something. And we're like, yeah, that's the superhero, Supergirl. So I liked it.
I want to piggyback on something Don said really quick. Have you guys noticed that every single movie, every single trailer is featuring nothing but remixes of classic rock songs? It is It is such a played out trope at this point. Like when James Gunn first brought that in Guardians of the Galaxy, it was really cool. But after a decade of it, and it's in everything. It's in everything now. I'm so over it. You know what I hated the most in this movie? The Jimmy Eat World cover during the final fight sequence. That was stupid.
Yeah.
So if you're going to criticize something, criticize an artistic choice that was freaking awful. That was the worst part of the movie. Weird. That was a weird choice. Continue. I'm sorry.
Real quick, Montego Bradley. Been a while, fellas. Checking in. So glad you guys are doing well. NPM? I don't know what hashtag NPM means. Yeah, if you guys are not watching Fans on Patrol, they are now doing video. They're on YouTube as well. You guys should be watching our good friend Montego. Montego, we got to get you on one day soon. So
I love Montego.
Yeah.
So Dave, JD likes it. I like it. What about you?
Okay, so like JD, because it was getting here's the thing. I went in going, because we talked about this on the show already. Like they're making Supergirl the foil to Superman, like the hopeful farm boy and the cynical city girl, right? Like that's, in that sense. And like, so I like that was my expectation. And then I started getting all these bad reviews. So I walked in like, this is gonna suck. So I didn't hate it. I didn't love it either. Like I feel about this movie the way I felt after I watched the first Thor movie. Like it worked for what it was, and it put her on the chessboard to be used in future movies. Like there's nothing in this movie that stood out as like, oh my god, that was such a great, amazing thing they did. It was just like it's a story that sets her up and tells you who she is and puts her on the chessboard to be used in a Justice League movie or something in the future. So that was my impression. Again, not a horrible movie. I don't know why it's getting the hate it's getting. I know it's getting some hate because of some of the things Millie Alcock said before it came out, but I don't think it's deserved, right? Like
and it's got nothing to do with the product itself, though. What we
right. It has nothing to do with the product itself, but I think that would be my only thing to say to her is like, and any actor that's going to be in a franchise movie like this, just keep your mouth shut until after it comes out, right? Let's just say, hey, I made a fun superhero movie, go see it, and leave all your politics at home and all your personal feelings about men and women and whatever.
I think it's a cop-out. I think that when you're being attacked by the vast majority of white middle-aged men, I think that I completely understand why.
I didn't see her getting attacked.
Oh, there's a whole campaign. Not even referenced it. There's a whole campaign about how she was ugly. Like that was literally the Chud campaign was how ugly. I don't think she's ugly at all. That was the whole not marketing. That was the whole online attack campaign. And there was a targeted. Anytime that there's a female-led property, there is a targeted campaign led by radical right-wing chuds and incels to devalue it before it comes out. And I'll be honest with you, that has had a pretty good effect on this because, again, the vast majority of people are coming out of this movie with lowered expectations saying, well, it was all right. Like they're not coming out going, what a piece of shit. Like, that hasn't happened here. That happened in Snow White. Like, again, and it is unfair. We cannot say there isn't a double standard. There are male actors that will come out and say whatever the fuck they want, and it doesn't get nearly the backlash when a woman does it. Like, I disagree with Rachel Zegler's politics immensely, but she goes out and talks about things, and like torpedo Disney, that Snow White thing was a disaster, right? Like, again, that was not a very good movie, but like at the same time, that becomes the story. And like I said, but the guys had these Brie Larson jokes. Like, how much flack did Brie Larson get? Like, if you are a woman who's doing one of these things, you are going to get an online targeted campaign. Like I talked about with Heather Antos thing.
I don't know.
That's a real thing.
Do you think Gal Gadot got the got
Yes.
that, or Scarlett Johansson. I don't
She's
know.
getting Scarlett Johansson is different because like she played a supporting character for the vast majority of her career in the Marvel universe specifically. She didn't headline a movie until 2020, and it didn't come out until the pandemic, and then people went out. She sued for it not getting nearly enough coverage and money that it was supposed to get. Like that became a controversy unto itself.
True.
And they wouldn't, like Marvel wouldn't market a female-led movie until Ike Perlmutter was out of there for these reasons. Like that's the problem. So my wife, now I'll tell you my wife's conspiracy theory about this is she's like, of course people hate this movie. She murdered Space Epstein. This is a movie about a bunch of young girls who are trafficked.
Yes.
And who a strong woman frees them. So of course and this is her. This is not JD speaking. This is my wife speaking. Of course we can't have women thinking that they can fight back against these powers. We have to tamp that down at all. Kassan in the comments goes, do you think this is the industry trying to sabotage the Warner Paramount merger, which that is a big controversy right now. I'm not a fan of the merger myself, but I heard that I didn't hear she's floating the idea of maybe Warner tamping it down themselves with the Ellisons, because the Ellisons are ultra magas to the point where they don't want this kind of stuff to be the front of their new conglomeration.
Okay, I will say this, and then we can get to actually reviewing the movie. I do think Kassan's got a point. I think there very much could be a conspiracy to devalue Warner Brothers so that it makes the merger go faster and they can save some money, because this
still going to be $80 billion in debt though.
Oh, there's so much debt.
They're going to have to be the biggest whores.
Yeah, dude, that's I said this on our Mike and JD show before. I'm going to say this to you guys. These major mergers aren't built to last, right? These mega conglomerations come together and they like boil over and it gets split up. Like it just, especially it's the history of Warner, right? The history of Warner they have been bought and sold so many times. It's like the Bayou Tapestry, right? There's always one little extra stitch onto it, some other corporation, some other logo to put on. Like that's the history of this company. So I don't foresee this Paramount Warner thing lasting for a super long time.
Montego says, but hasn't the movie been pretty much done over the last year and the merger's pretty much
we're not even talking about the movie, Montego. We're talking about the reaction to the movie. We're talking about the narrative surrounding this movie.
Right, because that's the whole thing. The movie is getting more hate than it deserves. And that's why it's very confusing. Like it feels and here's the thing, right? Like, all right, I'm gonna put my conspiracy hat back on for a second.
Yeah, tons, please.
Like,
honey, get the tinfoil.
We live in a world, that a lot of the media, like, I know JD, maybe you'll disagree with this, but a lot of the media has a left bias. So you would think in a movie where they're killing Space Epstein and women are fighting back, that the reviewer class and all of these, somewhat left-leaning publications we're all going to love and support. But yet Variety of all magazines trashed this movie. And it's like, that makes no sense. This is a movie they should have loved and they trashed it. So it's
I think the narrative, the left-leaning bias in the media is false, because all these things are owned. Look who owns everything. It's all owned by the billionaire class. Jeff Bezos, Peter Thiel. Usually, come on, man.
But usually stories like this are lifted up by the critics. And so the fact that
who are employed by the billionaire class, it's all like it's the illusion of the left-wing media. Like you see how people are freaking out by what happened in New York with and I don't want to get into politics too much, but like the illusion of it's the centrist media is what is the real thing, and anything that's not hard right is considered left. It's not. The media is very centrist, and they don't like this idea of we keep bringing up the Epstein thing, right? That's the problem, is that we keep talking about it. And this movie is very much a reaction to that. You can't say that it isn't. Like, she literally kills Space Epstein, but we can't have that. We have to pretend it didn't happen. Tamp it down.
That's why I'm saying it's weird. Like, this is a movie you would think these critics would love. That's why it's weird. It's really weird that it got review bombed by
what critics love? You know what
the industry?
The critics, yeah. Do you know why? Critics love money even more.
I think critics in Hollywood in general don't like the genre of movie.
That's true.
But we still make it popular because we're nerds, and nerds generally have decent paying jobs, and so the shit we like gets our money, and so it endures.
But I'm saying, like, I agree.
Now it's funny. The only review that I read was from Time, and they spent a woman, I can't remember her name, spent the majority of this review degrading the genre more than the movie, and talking about how we are all sick of superhero movies. So it seems like a lot of these reviews aren't reviewing the film; they're deliberately engaging in the discussion of, we are tired of superhero movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they're not talking. I mean, like, again, I read I didn't read the Variety article. I read the Time article, and I read, I think, a Screen Rant one. But it was like, all of it's the same thing as, superhero movies. We're so tired of superhero movies. And they weren't really addressing, again, is it the greatest script ever written? No. Have I seen 10 Marvel things that were worse than this? Absolutely. Like, but like, all of a sudden, like, this is an issue here? I don't get it. Senju Flyin says, critics gave Michael mid reviews, but Michael was successful in the box office. The general audiences don't care about the critics, not a factor. I agree with that. Michael was pretty damn good. I went in the same way. I thought this was going to be like a crappy movie, and my kid will not stop singing Michael Jackson. He does this little toe thing all the time. He is so digging on Michael. Michael was better than it had any reason to be. That's a damn good movie, actually. Says,
I'll have to watch it.
Reports will change. It's pretty good, Don. I think you'll like it.
I haven't seen it yet, and
it's good.
What really bugged me is, like, people were complaining because the movie didn't go into any of the controversies.
It ends in 1988.
But, like, it was made by his family. His brothers put this movie together. They're not going to talk about.
Right.
Can you imagine making a movie about your brother and talking about any controversy around him?
Like,
your dead brother, right?
Yeah,
I love my brother, but I would bury his ass under the ground because it'd be funny. No, like, I think with the Michael movie specifically, like, they avoided all that stuff, but they tell you there's going to be a sequel. And honestly, coming out of this movie, I sat with my son and we talked about, the second half of Michael's career. And without, I had this conversation as much as you could have with a 10-year-old about how, some kids made some accusations that might have held some water. And, like, we talked about those it was a very uncomfortable conversation, but I wanted him to kind of understand, like, that there is controversy. And if they do make another movie, it's not going to be as bright as the first one was. One would think.
Yeah. Boy, you're braver than me. You really are, because my daughters are about that age, and I opted not to have that conversation with them. Instead, though, what I did was I noticed that they were like, because we haven't seen the movie, but they were like listening to other people sing like Michael.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, you like Michael Jackson singing? Oh yeah, like, have you ever seen him dance? And she was like, no. I was like, stop what you're doing right now and go watch this video. Because realize how good this guy sings. He's also the most freakish dancer that is ever or will ever. He's the Bret Hart of dancing.
Ooh, well done, Don. I do like the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever
the best there ever will be.
My kid loves going on Instagram. My kid goes on Instagram and watches
Unfortunately, JD, I think we may have lost you.
You froze.
Nope, I'm back. Sorry, that rural internet kind of kicks me in the ass sometimes. Sorry. My kid likes Michael Jackson. Anyway.
No, yeah.
Do we want to review a movie?
Oh yeah, Michael was great. Go see Michael.
Sure. Yeah.
All right. So we got our non-spoiler reaction. You got the critic scores and the box office. You also got some bonus stuff about controversies, politics, and Michael Jackson. Now, if you haven't seen the movie and you don't want spoilers, here's your opportunity to walk away. But if you have seen it and you want to, or you don't care about spoilers, here we go. We don't need to go. I don't think we need to go beat by beat with this movie.
No.
I'll be here all night.
Yep.
It's a pretty simple. It's a pretty simple plot.
I was about to say
honest.
it's not.
Yeah.
It's a simple plot. Reluctant hero. We meet Kara. She's just in that place because she hasn't in her mind found her people. She's on a red planet sunset. She can celebrate her birthday by drinking and getting drunk. And there's I can't remember the character's name, the little girl. Ruthie. Her father's a sword maker, and Kern, right? That's his name. The villain. He comes with his face
jewelry.
His face jewelry and his Ravengers. Sorry.
Yes.
It's basically the Ravengers. They come in to steal.
He was like if Taserface was on Ozempic and got a bunch of face piercings. That's exactly what I thought he was.
He kills her family because he wants to take the swords that he makes. And she goes to vow revenge, and she finds Kara at the bar.
Have you seen Seven Samurai or The Magnificent Seven? Same movie.
Yes.
Same plot.
Yeah. Basically, she doesn't decide to help her until Kern poisons Crypto with a poison that affects her, and she can't take him to a yellow sun planet because moving him would kill him faster. So because I thought that why can't she just take him
plot
somewhere
convenience.
Exactly. There's a lot of I will say this, there's a lot of plot convenience in this movie.
Green, yellow,
quite a
sun.
bit.
Well, because seeing as said villain literally wears a necklace with the antidote, which I thought was like, that's a little on the nose. Jeez. But okay.
So she's got to hunt him down to get the antidote. The kid tags along, adventure ensues. So I guess I don't know. What were you thinking at this point in the movie? Right, like that's your setup. Basic, I'm gonna John Wick in space, maybe.
That's exactly. I thought of that. Yeah, and the Punisher. They just did the dog thing with the Punisher, which I know isn't this company, but it's like it stole his thunder a little bit. But the white person dog lover gene is strong with this in one, so they got me hook, line, and sinker. Go get that motherfucker and cure your dog. Absolutely, I was absolutely on board.
Andy tried to walk out. Andy tried to walk out of the theater after Crypto got shot. He was like, I'm out. He literally was like, I don't want to see it. He's like, they're going to kill Crypto. And he was like, because he loved Crypto in the first Superman movie. Andrew loves Superman. Like, that movie made him a Superman fan. And when he thought Crypto died, man, that 10-year-old was fucking pissed.
When I asked the girlfriend if she wanted to see it, she's off this week from work. So her and her boys were going to go tomorrow night to see it, and I was like, oh well, I got to see it before that. So I just went by myself, and after I got out of the theater, she's like, what did you think? And I'm like, you're going to hate this movie, because anything where they hurt a dog, she's out. So
like Don said, it's white people kryptonite, injuring an animal.
Yes.
I did like how Kara embraces every cop stereotype, like cop movie stereotype. Alcoholic who's just like not seen it all and jaded, and it takes a little kid to kind of warm her up. I mean, it's something we've seen a million times before, but I like that these ideas are transposed onto a 23-year-old woman, which I think kind of refreshes it a bit. Like, I love the idea of Clark being hopeful because he was raised in Kansas, right? He was raised by people who love him. Well, Kara's got all this trauma built up of one, you know that you are the soul, you became the first child born on Argo, which was separated from Krypton. So you're essentially like, you got a little bit of a Jesus thing yourself. Like, and then you find out everyone you know is going to die of cancer, essentially, except you.
Yeah.
So she's got this survivor guilt tapped onto her that she didn't want. She even says in the movie, I don't want to be the survivor. But her dad's like, no, you got to go. I can't let my kid die, like any dad would. Right. So she's got this massive survivor guilt attached to her, which I think is a super interesting spin on the Superman origin. I think they really nailed the two characters and the dichotomy between them. You know, I thought that was really cool how that was done.
Yes, I was super interested when they did the Argo thing. There's fucking people that only survived because they managed to get a chunk of krypton in a force field. They're just floating on a piece of krypton. But then they explained how it's exposed to kryptonite. Because I've always thought the whole pieces of krypton are kryptonite. But now this kind of explains that more.
Mm-hmm.
And that was truly tragic to see that. Now, Invincible stole the thunder a little bit here because we saw the Viltrumite planet, millions die, kind of like this. This is on a little bit smaller scale, but it still hit, especially when she's like, no, I want to die too. And when her dad was like, no, you are my life. Like, kids don't get that about parents.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we will die, you will go on, your kid, like, you are what we need, you are so important to my legacy, and so I totally, that whole Argo thing was just absolutely excellent, and I agree with JD. It absolutely set up this great dichotomy between the two Kryptonians here. So love that shit.
That was one of the things I was going to say, is that I do like. I'm not always a fan of it, but it worked in this movie. Every time something happens and she's passed out or sleeping or whatever, there's these flashbacks. So you're supposed to think like she's dreaming these flashbacks, which fills in all those story points that you guys just said. Like, and that's, to me, those were some of the best parts of the movie.
Absolutely. It's tropey, but it works. There's a reason why it's tropey, because it always works.
First off, it gives you the vision of this DCU's version of Krypton, right? It's not an ice planet. It's not a weird planet with a bunch of dragon-like creatures and people in pods being born. And, it looks quite a bit like, a version of Earth or Asgard, maybe, really. Which worked.
What did we think though about them talking about he thinks his son's going to be a conqueror? Like,
they one of the most controversial things of Gunn's Superman movie was, it's not a retcon. It's something that's happened in a lot of Superman books over the last decade plus, is that Jor-El's not a good guy, right? Yeah. Jor-El has shown up numerous times as a villain, or at least villainish character in this new world of Superman, and they incorporated that into the movie, and they addressed that in this one, where Zor-El is like, I'm not sending my kid off to be a god. Like, he's like, you kind of get the hang that Krypton itself isn't evil, that Jor-El is just kind of fucked up, where it kind of, but kind of, when you think about this, it kind of works in the idea of a guy who would send his only begotten son away, because they've always made the Moses or the Christ analogies to Superman. And when you think about the kind of dad that would do that with that in mind, it would be a megalomaniac, right? So I do like how they steer to that. But then when Zor-El is in the place of typical Jor-El, like the Marlon Brando, like how Don said Krypton, instead of Krypton earlier, aping Marlon Brando, who intentionally pronounced that wrong. And so you get that dad who is desperate now. And he's like, you know what? Your cousins on this world, they're safe. You can go there too, and you can survive. And it's not because he wants his daughter to be a goddess. He just wants her to survive, and it's, it hits, I hate the kids say it hits a little bit different. Like, I think we get a much deeper much more thoughtful understanding of this particular version of Krypton that we didn't really get, because in Superman, our Superman here has no real connection to Krypton, which is what the whole movie is about. The whole Superman movie is about the fact that he's essentially an outsider. He's not from Earth, but he's really not from Krypton at the same time. So I think this movie is a girl who's from Krypton trying to learn to survive in a new place. It's really interesting. I really like the dichotomy between the two. Kassan says plot convenience is why the superhero genre is not well received. The audience groans at being treated as idiots. I mean, he ain't wrong. Like plot convenience is something that happens in every single movie ever, because the writer has to get the character from A to B. But it's just so pronounced in superhero movies. And because we've seen so many of them now for the better part of 20 years consistently, we've become more attuned to that stuff than we do in other movies.
Yeah. And, oh, shoot, I lost it.
For that comment?
Don't they admit this is a tribute to True Grit?
I haven't seen that, but it would not surprise me if it was, because it kind of is very similar plot.
Very much. Yeah. Okay, so one of the things at this point in the movie, and it continues throughout, and I understand from a visual storytelling point why they did it, but it kind of got on my nerves. Is Kara's dirty, like filthy, and through the whole movie, like she needs a super shower. And it was just like, and I get why they did it. It just, I don't know. It would have bothered me. It doesn't matter if it was a man or a woman. It would have bothered me either way. Like,
I think it's supposed to. I think that's on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're supposed to feel like she should be better than this. Right.
Yeah.
And that's part of the character. Like, I think this is the superhero genre is a movie where very rarely does the character get like development post the first movie. Like Iron Man stagnated after Iron Man, right? Peter Parker really has never had much character development. He's been fully formed. And that's the problem with serialized fiction, is that there's only so much development a character can get. So I think by having stuff like the fact that she is filthy, you get a sign of depression, right? People who are suffering from depression typically don't shower. Right. And I said, it's like, think about every cop movie, right? From like the 70s on. Like, it's very odd. It's very cliche to have like that character be kind of grungy looking, you know. Travis Mitchell says, "How's it going, guys? It goes well."
Hello, hey, Travis.
But yeah, I think you're supposed to feel like that. I think you're supposed to feel like she's gross. Again, what is the major marketing campaign? This is a makeup company, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yes, yeah, this is true.
Did you find her one-liners amusing? I know we haven't talked about that, but I'm watching that movie. I laughed a couple times.
I did laugh a couple times. I'm so over
her delivery. I guess I'll never be over. Her delivery though, it got me a couple times. I get it. I get it. I get why she's this character.
I think I thought she was good. I thought she was good as Kara. I don't know if the ensemble cast was great. I don't know if the guy who played. I mean, like, Karm has this weird pseudo-Russian accent that kept pulling me out of everything.
Yeah. Why are you Russian in space? Yeah.
Dave wants that clean Linda Carter. Dave wants that clean Linda Carter look. Well, who doesn't?
Yes, I grew up on Linda Carter. Come on now.
Wonder Woman.
There's so many jokes I can make right now, but I will pull back.
This goes along with, and again, James Gunn didn't write it, but of course he executive produces it. He's the head of DCU Films, so his fingerprints are all over it. And I do think, why I'm shocked he did such a good Superman. He doesn't like the classic superhero good guy trope, you know, and like this movie shows it. This is.
I don't know if that's true, because like I think Gunn likes to get his characters dirty a little bit so that they can transcend through things. Like I think the best way to do Superman is that he is the shining light in a really dirty world, right?
Yeah.
But with a character like Kara, I think you get to go outside that box a little bit, and and that's Tom King, right? I don't think we've ever had a Supergirl quite like this until Tom King. His influence is all over this movie, more so than James Gunn's, quite frankly. So I think that this version of Kara only helps elevate what Superman truly is and how unique Superman is. You know?
Yeah. James Burton. I hope not too much in one hand. Yes and no. Hopefully he's acting as they need a Feige, somebody who's like,
that's James Gunn.
Yeah, ensures that they have a singular vision on all the movies. I don't think Snyder was doing that with the DCEU. No.
Snyder was doing tone of,
yeah, if you look at the tones of the movies, he wasn't involved with. They were very different than the main movies.
Now, I think tonally, I think this movie's similar enough to Superman where you can feel it. The real test is going to be in October when Clayface comes out. Because Clayface is firmly set in this universe, not Matt Reeves' Batman universe.
Right.
You know, so I'm super curious to see how a movie that
Wait, what?
Yeah. This Clayface movie that's coming out is connected to James Gunn's universe, not Matt Reeves' universe. Which people are bitching about them not having a Batman movie out yet. I'm like, we've already got a Batman, and now we're gonna start confusing people. This is the nature of DC, right? The alternate universes.
I mean, yeah,
this is connected to that
continuity salad, right?
Continuity salad. I mean, continuity salad bar, as I.
Oh my god! But it's like salad that also puts fruit in it, which I hate. Some people like. I like this movie. I still don't like James Gunn though. I still think he's hack. I just don't. I've never seen eye to eye with the guy. I question again. I like this movie, but I still kind of question. Okay, how is Supergirl though going to be your second movie when you're trying to build this big DCU? How's it not Batman, Green Lantern, whatever, something?
Well, we got a Green Lantern TV show coming out in a couple.
We
months.
Sure did. We got a Green Lantern TV show that's getting everyone's loving instantly, right? With the brown hoop jacket on Hal Jordan.
Boy, did Grant Morrison shit all over that.
I'm just I like the movie, but I'm troubled by this DCU.
I was a lot to do with that. I was troubled by the fact that in the trailer they showed a Green Lantern suit hanging in a closet, and his suit has always been a construct of his ring.
That's not true. That is not true. Guy Gardner wore a jacket. He takes it on, takes it off all the time. The suit being a light construct wasn't really a thing until Kyle Rayner became the Green Lantern, because like there's tons of DC comics over the years that show ripped up Green Lantern suits. Right. That's always been an artistic interpretation thing. Okay. Like there's tons and tons of Hal Jordan images with him with a torn suit. That has become more of an accepted part of the Green Lantern mythos in the post Jeff Johns era, actually more post Ron Mars, because Kyle had it too. But I mean, like in the 60s and 70s and 80s, like Green Lantern was shown with torn costume all the time. So I get it. I don't love the brown Green Lantern suit myself. They keep relating this to True Detective. I'm trying to go into this with an open mind. I'm not sold. I love Green Lantern. They have a lot of work they have to show me on this one. I'm very skeptical of Green
Lantern. We're talking about costumes and how people look.
Yeah. Travis Mitchell says, when you can move faster than the speed of light, everything that fast will feel slow. She has to get back to the speed of the world around her. And that really worked for me, I guess.
Okay.
She's not used to, I guess the interesting thing about Kara is I don't think she likes her powers at first.
No.
Like she's not comfortable she didn't choose to become a superhero. This is really, like Don pointed out when he was doing his review, this is really about her kind of accepting her role. And also like Superman embraced being a hero, where she's kind of thrust upon it and rejects it for large chunks of this movie. But her parents literally say, you have to be good. You have to be good. You know, so it's really her programming that tells her she had, like, reluctantly becoming a superhero.
I want to talk about that for a second too. The scene when she lands on Earth and Clark finds her, right? Like, and it's
talking English to her, and
he's talking English,
loud and slow,
and she's talking Kryptonian, and it was like, I get I get the like okay, they want to do the whole he doesn't know Kryptonian. However, he has the video that he watched, the show in the first movie he watches all the time. It's been translated, and he has the robots that what?
Luthor translates it.
Yeah, he's right.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. I thought
you'd still think though that whole setup would have a translator or something. It is kind of weird that Lex Luthor's the one that did it, but he's right.
Yeah. I also think it's weird that he's waited so long he never tried to translate it anyway. But what do I know?
How would you translate an alien language? If you're just, because this Superman is not portrayed necessarily as being a genius. Like, he's smart, but never portrayed as being a genius. The robots and shit were all like part of him being Kryptonian. So how would you go about that? I don't know how Luthor even did it. So I mean, like, Superman never seemed to care.
There are people that are linguists, and that's what they do. And if you give
Clark isn't that guy.
Yes, but if he gets an audio recording of it and finds a linguist and says, "I found this ancient language. Could you translate what they're saying?"
Yeah, but I mean, like, does it matter to him? It never really mattered to him.
Yeah, I don't know. It was one of those weird things. It was just like,
yeah,
little weird thing, and the comment about him wearing his underwear on the outside, which, like, I'm tired of the joke.
Listen, if that's the last time we see of it, that get it out of your system and be done.
Okay, and then there is like the one thing that I will say this, superhero physics in this movie is bad, and so the scene where they're on the bus and those hacker girls come in and they want to steal the technology and the engine and all that, and she's fighting them, and they're getting close to a yellow sun. Well, the radiation of the sun would have reached her already. She doesn't have to physically see it to get the radiation. Like, okay, fine. I'll accept those comic book physics, but she gets blown out of the airlock, right? And they can't breathe in space. They just don't need to breathe. Like this is well established in the comics that Superman is just holding his breath when he's flying through space. So like, she didn't have time to take a deep breath before she went in. So she would have already been dead by the time the yellow sun hit her. I know it's comic book physics. It's like the sunlight didn't just bring her back to life. Like, and I know there's the healing factor, but still,
Superman came back after Doomsday killed him. And I mean,
I know it's
that's
just
what
like
they do.
It's comic book physics. It's like,
I'm gonna bring this back. I haven't said it in a few years, Dave. How do you kill a vampire?
Yeah.
It depends on who wrote the book.
Doesn't matter, because there's no such thing as vampires. It's all fiction.
Exactly. How do you bleed a kyber crystal? Who knows?
Yep, you just do. Right? It's like,
why are there lesbian space witches?
Stop trying to defend the Acolyte there, Don.
Well, I'm not, but you know what though? That's the thing though. Just what JD was saying. Like, the Acolyte got the same pre-fucking hate. Just because, anyway, yeah, you're right. I'll get off.
To be fair, I didn't like the Acolyte. I thought it was kind of boring. I was not a fan of the Acolyte.
I know. I'm the only one that exists.
Yes, you're the only one. No, I mean, like, I'm not gonna knock it down for it. It's just comic book physics. It's like,
sure, yeah,
it drives me nuts.
I mean, you see when Lobo was throwing around his shit. You talk about physics.
So let's talk about Jason Momoa as Lobo.
I liked it.
Was it everything we hoped it would be?
He's a nice little side character who shows up and just kind of does some shit and moves on. Like, it's fine. Little agent of chaos. I think he's well better casted here. Yeah, it made me laugh. Serves as some comic relief. He's a much better Lobo than he was an Aquaman.
Agreed, but it's funny. I feel like he turned down the dude bro attitude, which was why everyone said he should be Lobo.
Because Lobo's not
a dude bro.
He's not a dude bro. Yeah, I mean, he kind of looks like it a little bit, but he don't give a fuck about it. Wants that bread. I'm watching him in the movie, and I'm like, has he become a better actor, or is it just he's better suited for this role?
Like, I think he's just better. I think he's an underrated actor myself. I think he plays I think he gets cast in roles that people want him in, and they want him to do what we think of as the Jason Momoa shtick. But
Right.
whereas Aquaman, I don't think it fit. I don't think it. They tried to tailor it to Aquaman, and I just don't. I never bought it. It never worked for me. But I think it fits better here. I think it just fits his vibe much better. I don't think he's as horrible of an actor as people think. I think like Arnold, he knows what he is and can play within that realm and do different variations on him.
Right.
And I think that's a good thing for an actor to learn, is an actor to learn their limits, because not every actor can go beyond their limits, but learn their limits and how to play within them and how to emote from within them. Like Arnold was fantastic at doing the Arnold character, but we also got many different versions of that, but it's all still like, you could say, well, he doesn't have much range. It's like, no, he doesn't have much range. Not many actors do have a ton of range, but they're good at doing their thing, like very journeyman like.
Is she depressed because she thinks her life needed the sacrifice of her parents' life? Do you think she has survivor's guilt?
I do think she has survivor's guilt, 100%.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, I think it's also and this happens to a lot of people. There's these expectations on you to be something that you don't want to be. And I think that is very much what she's going through. Like, I'm not a superhero. I'm just Kara from Krypton that got destroyed, and like, I don't know who I am, and everyone's saying, no, this is who you are. Where because she was a teenager when she lost everything, whereas Clark was a baby. He didn't know Krypton. He was raised by the Kents. He's Clark Kent. He's not.
I think that
why can't I think of his Kryptonian name?
Kal-El.
Yeah.
I think anyone who's lost their parents, no matter the age, I lost my mom at 21, and I lost my dad at just 2 years ago at 44. Like, I think that anytime you lose your folks, it puts you into a weird little tailspin where you question, why am I here? What am I? Why am I still around? And having just gone, I talked about it when I was talking about Killing Town. Like, I saw a lot of that. I see a lot of a kid struggling to find their place and just not being happy. I look at the years of when my wrestling career ended in college. I look back at this now. I didn't realize at the time, but I look back on this now as like the year and a half after my mom died, I kind of poured myself into wrestling. And then when wrestling was over, I went through a massive existential crisis of, who am I? What am I?
Yeah.
And then I didn't that's the thing about going through this. I don't think you realize it at the time when you're going through these kind of things. And like, I definitely, looking back on it, went through a massive depression. I look at like the worst version of me, and it's definitely those 2 years before I got married, like, and when I was kind of lost, like after trying to figure out what is the next phase of my life. And I look at like the collection of bad decisions that I've made in life, which we all have those. All of mine were in that phase where I wasn't dealing with who I was in the wake of losing my mom pretty young. And it was my motivation for getting help when my dad died, is I didn't want to go through that again, because we talk about stakes, the stakes of my own life were a lot bigger now than they were when I was just my dumbass on my own, Right. So I do. Maybe that's why I like this movie a lot, because I do see a lot of I do empathize with her more than I expected to.
No, yeah, I see that. Yeah, I mean, geez, 13 years ago I decided to start a podcast, and God, that was a bad decision.
What a dumbass.
No, but I mean, yeah, like, geez, I lost my father 16 years ago, and like, yeah, like you went through it then. I mean, and I do think like, like, yes, you lost your mother at a young age, but I also feel like when a man loses his father, it hits you a lot, right? Because like, a lot of times, I mean, I know you've had issues with your father at times, but like, a lot of times you base who you are on who your father is, Absolutely. So when your father goes, you're like, oh wait, am I wasting my life, or am I just making the right decision, or am I just doing this because my dad did this? So yeah, like, she was going through all of that, I mean, Don can't empathize because
I think
he's got daddy issues that are way deeper than either of the two of us will ever have.
One shouldn't be able to watch Shawshank Redemption and have their father pick out his old cell. That shouldn't happen. But
Don, can I steal that line? Like
absolutely.
That's a hell of that is a period at the end of a sentence, as my father used to say. That is a great line.
What were you gonna say?
Me? I got nothing. No, Don took the wind out of my sails with that one, so I'm just gonna lean back. I know when I've been beat.
That's what she said.
So we like Lobo. He gets introduced.
I don't think you can do a Lobo movie.
No, I absolutely agree. Sprinkle him in there. Yeah, because I'm not going to take, I can't take 2 hours of that.
That's what I'm saying.
It's fun, but yeah.
So
I don't think he's relatable in the slightest. And it's not like Deadpool where he's funny enough to carry it. I don't think the character of Lobo, like I don't love Lobo comics, but I like when Lobo shows up in other people's stuff, I don't think, even on Jason Momoa's got a ton of charisma. I don't want a Lobo movie, and they're gonna talk about it, or maybe not with this back office performance, but I don't want that. Please don't do
that. I don't disagree with you, but I'm also kind of wondering, like, because people do try to compare him to, like, Wolverine and Deadpool as like the anti-hero type.
Lobo is a parody of Wolverine. You have to remember this.
Yes.
Like Keith Giffen literally created Lobo to be a parody of Wolverine. That's like in the 90s, like all the crazy Lobo stuff is literally just making fun of Wolverine and like all the extreme comics of the 1990s. We have to keep this in mind. And if you're not going to do that, you don't get Lobo. And I felt that with this Lobo. Like he's over the top because he's supposed to be, right? Like it's like as long as we keep our tongue firmly planted in cheek when we deal with Lobo, it's fine. But I don't think we can. You can give me a Lobo, like if you want to give me like a Max Plus or whatever the hell this thing becomes, like a half-hour Lobo thing. Sure, fine.
Yeah,
okay, I'm fine. But please don't give me an hour and a half, 2 hour Lobo movie. I cannot sympathize with Lobo because I'm not supposed to. Damn it! Like,
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if he
also continually smokes a cigar, and I honestly think that's one thing that they don't want to promote.
I'm shocked that they kept that, to be honest.
Yeah,
the biggest
they got
cigar I've ever seen. Like I was shocked they
did that.
Which again was a Wolverine thing. He used to do.
Did that cigar look like like really
giant
like a prop?
Yes, very.
It didn't look like a real cigar. Like it looked like it had a light on the end and it was lighting up.
Again, it's everything with Lobo is supposed to be turned up to 11. So of course he has the biggest cigar possible. Because again, it's a giant penis, right? It's supposed to be ridiculous. So
very phallic, yeah.
Remarkably phallic. Dude, the whole character of Lobo is one phallic thing after another. He's got a giant ass hook, a humongous motorcycle. Like it's Keith Giffen, man absolutely knew what he was doing with this.
So when he gets introduced, there's the bar fight. They're on Krem's, well, not Krem's homeworld, where they're collecting girls. Where Space Epstein,
the island, Space Epstein Island,
the island, yes, the island. There's a crazy bar fight because she's trying to find Krem to get the antidote.
Space Steen, I call him.
Ruthie's just wants to kill him. She's been tagging along. This is where Lobo is introduced, and then he leaves, and the bartender and the bartender and wife are like, "Oh, we can help you find them," And okay, I want to ask you guys, when they bring her back to the house. And she puts him in a room and closes the door. It was like my brain went to, this is a setup. Like, this is totally a setup. Like it was, I saw it 1,000 miles away. And it was one of those scenes where I got angry that our main character didn't see.
To be fair, has car ever been set up before?
Yeah,
Like this is her first time doing any of this. Like we see a setup coming from a mile away because we watch movies and stuff like that. Our characters really don't, especially because she's got a hangover the entire movie, and it's not like she's 23. Again, I go back, the dumbest shit I ever did in my life were between the years of 23 and 25. So I can chalk this up to being young and naive, because young people are naive.
Yeah.
If she was 47, okay, come on.
I don't know. What did you think, Don?
I mean, I'm with JD here. I mean, think of like all the interactions that she's had. You know, like it's either like they trying to kill me. They trying to kill me. Yep, you're trying to kill me. You're trying to kill me. Oh, you're not? Cool. Oh, you're being nice to me. Okay, this is all right. Let's go with this. And then all of a sudden they give you poison milk, and there you have it.
No, they gave you poison and they used the milk to keep it from.
That's right. System. That's right. Thank you for correct. Yes, that was her remedy for poison, was milk.
Yes, yeah. Another like little gross thing too. Like, oh wait, what kind of milk is this? And there's that weird creature sitting on the.
I laughed.
Floor. Yeah,
it was fun. I'm guilty. Yes. I laughed.
Yeah, there were a lot of like little gross things in this movie.
And we're lots of little gross things. I kind of like this movie's kind of gross. Like it's unexpectedly gross in lots of parts, which I kind of dug. I'm kind of gross.
The only thing I don't get is like James Gunn was questioned, like why Supergirl, whatever is, and it was because the script was so good, we had to make it our next movie. I didn't quite see that, you know.
I think I think he's a little carnival barker. There's a lot of P.T. Barnum in James.
Yes, yes.
You got to hype. You got to hype. But that's a bold statement, and I agree with you.
That is a lot of what people who are criticizing this movie, a lot of them are pointing that out. And it's like, fair. Yeah, it's fair because there is nothing. It's not a bad movie, but there's nothing in this movie we haven't seen before, and B, I like, you don't walk out of this movie like, wow, I needed to see that, you know.
That Krypton part though with Argo, I don't know, that was very important to me.
I agree with Don on that. I think that stuff is really well written. Another part of me goes, the script that James Gunn reacted to, is that what got filmed?
Yeah,
because what's in his screenplay very rarely translates 1-to-1 when a movie is actually made for various reasons. So you react, and this is the case of all Hollywood. Like, very rarely does anyone like try to make a bad script into a movie. Like, every movie has like, at least you'd like to think, has a script that people believe in at the time. So I think that I don't know about Gregor Gillespie. We attach a lot of stuff to James Gunn, but like, I think James Gunn has said he doesn't want to be the Kevin Feige telling people how to make their own movies. Like, his fingerprints are on this, but I think this is more of a case of like Steven Spielberg and Tobe Hooper Poltergeist than James Gunn shadow directing. And I think that people want to say that James Gunn is shadow directing, but I'd like to think James Gunn would have picked a better song than that cover of Jimmy Eat World. Like, yeah. I think a lot of the stuff that we are attributing to Gunn is pretty much just Gregor Gillespie, and Gunn taking the Feige role is going to step in front of a lot of those bullets.
Yeah,
but I agree, the script was fine. I think what makes the script work is, one, those Krypton scenes, those are great, and two, a lot of it is the subversion of tropes, which I dug.
Right,
but it wasn't like wasn't The Dark Knight. We'll just leave it at that as far as like a script goes.
Yeah, because like, and I'm get to this as we're talking here, because I want to also point out, like, because talk about the dirty thing and whatnot, like, she's not in her quote unquote uniform, right? Because again, she's not accepted the role. It's just an outfit, you know. She's like in regular clothes through most of the movie, and I want to point that out.
Trench coat, by the way,
and a trench coat, yeah.
Like trench coats.
Did you guys? Speaking of the trench coat, did you guys see the AMC marketing campaign? The popcorn thing that looks like a gigantic penis.
Yes, it does.
It looks like one of those bad dragons, if you know what I'm talking.
They've gone all the way from stuff you can stick your penis into. Now they're doing the penis.
Now they're going. Well, to be fair, it's a movie mark. Never mind. I'm just gonna.
The girls,
oh Lord, yes, that's.
It's a movie for the ladies.
Yes, it is.
I went to a Regal, so I didn't see that one.
That's for you, John, if you're watching.
Oh God, miss those days.
Yeah, I used to
JD spent most of the time trying to make John blush.
Crack John. I missed that. I miss doing that actually.
But anyway, I want to get to the whole uniform thing in a second because I want to do like obviously they meet Lobo, blah blah, get captured, then Krem shows up, big fight in the street, and oh God, I can't think of her name again. Ruthie is only wants to go kill Krem. She doesn't care about anything else.
Very Inigo Montoya.
Yes, where Kara is trying to save the girls that are being kidnapped. She's fighting all of the I can't remember their names, the Ravagers. Lobo shows up. There's your wild card, makes everything crazier because he's trying to hunt down one of the guys. And I'm trying to figure out like, so Ruthie's going to kill Krem, and Kara goes to stop her. And like, here's where my mind is at this point in the story. Like, is she making things worse or better? Like, I get the story, the through point of she doesn't want Ruthie to kill him because she'll regret it for the rest of her life. But like, him being dead doesn't stop her from taking the antidote. Like, if he's dead, she just grabs the antidote off his body.
I think Kara's intentions are legit in this. I don't think she wants a child to take a life. I feel like somewhere there is a alternate take or something where you find out Kara's killed somebody, because the way that I kept expecting that and that never comes. So like, I feel like something is missing. I do feel like at some point in a draft or in an earlier cut, Kara took a life and has been haunted by that. Because I feel like that would describe another reason why she has all these emotions in this, because she's right, but she's so steadfast in this that it feels like there's something there that wasn't delivered on, you know.
And that's the thing. That's the thing. If it was in this movie, would have put it over the top, and it would have been like, oh my God, you got to see this movie.
I agree. I feel like that was missing. I feel like that's another thing that would have helped cement the character of Kara being different than Clark, as if she was, and she is willing. We see it at the end. She is willing to take a life. But I feel like if we had that initially, and she did have that, like, I feel like there's a missing narrative piece there that is almost promised but not delivered on. Because I feel like Millie Alcock's performance is so sincere about not letting Ruthie take this step. And she's right. Like, a child murdering someone is she's like, the character is correct on this. But I feel like there's a missing where when it pays off at the end of the movie, where she does stop Ruthie from killing Space Epstein, and then Kara just goes ahead and does it herself. And then, like, I was discussing with a friend of mine, because she's like, well, that's hypocritical of her to do that. And I said, no, it isn't, because if Ruthie does it, it's vengeance. When Kara does it, it's justice. There's a difference between that, right? So if you're going to take someone's life because it makes you feel better about yourself, that's an empty pursuit. If you do something because it's for the betterment of the world, okay, then we're talking something different. Like, and so again, dichotomy between Clark would never do that, never in a million years.
Right.
But I do feel like there's one little narrative that just wasn't there.
Right. And this Clark especially would
this Clark ain't killing nobody. Yeah. Henry Cavill was laying dudes down left and right.
Oh,
he was just mowing people down. Like, he was like a human, or like a Kryptonian weed whacker, just like
there's millions of people in that building, just knock it over.
Fuck it.
Someone argued that there was a thing I saw online where they were showing like the 3 people that he saves in Man of Steel. Like, oh, look at all the haters saying he doesn't save anyone. You know, not showing all the buildings.
It's the millions that he let die. It's the problem.
And the funny thing is, it's like the very next movie, Batman v Superman, was based on the fact that all those people died from him fighting in Metropolis.
That's literally the whole impetus of Batman and the guilt that Superman has. Like, it's hard to remember the actual narrative threads of Batman versus Superman, because it is such a piece of celluloid excrement that we forget that there were attempts at emotion in that movie. they all just, you forget about it because Jesse Eisenberg's talking about drinking piss. So, God,
right. But that's the whole thing. Like these people trying to say, like, oh, he saves people. Like, you missed the next movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she stops him, or she stops her, and they escape. And he escapes to a planet, which I didn't realize was a thing until this movie, and then I looked it up, and it's like it is something that DC's used before. Green suns. So their suns that were affected by kryptonite got absorbed into these suns after Krypton was destroyed.
Very plot convenient.
Yeah, but it is a thing in the comics. Like they didn't invent it for the movie.
It is, and I tried to bitch about that, and my wife goes, "Well, wouldn't that be the best place to try to trap her?" So my wife was being the ultimate Supergirl defender on this. I'm like, I guess you got a point.
But the fact
I'm trying to figure out if I missed something
go.
though. While we're on the Kryptonite Sun shit, where did this Karm guy, Space Steen, where did he learn about kryptonite and Kryptonians? Like he knows a lot of shit, and I missed how he learned. Like, he's a maniac. I mean, he does something horrible to everyone within a 5-foot radius the moment he gets. I mean, they do a great job of really making you want this motherfucker dead. That's why with the whole car killing him thing, like I get it. She didn't want the kid to do it, but she's like, you gotta fucking die, so I'm doing it.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Like there is no explanation of how he knows all this stuff. Like
he made the arrows.
Clark's been Superman for what, 3 years on Earth. And like did the stories of Superman reach out into space?
But who's to say the stories of Argo City didn't reach out? Because like when we're
but they weren't.
But hold on,
they weren't.
The universe is a small place in this world where people are traveling between planets rather easily, right? So it's Earth. I like when we do this, when Earth is the backwater planet that nobody gives a shit about. So I don't think it's Superman that they're connected to. I think it's the idea that Krypton rotted away, and planet killed them. Like the very planet killed the people of Krypton. So if you have spacefaring knowledge, and especially that knowledge would be a generation old at this point, I don't think it's that great of a stretch to make that connection.
Okay.
And Brainiac could be involved too.
And we know who the villain, and we know who the villain is for the next Superman movie.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You know what? I'm starting to see it. Okay.
All right. We'll allow it. Because
that's the thing. They could explain. They could do a better job explaining it though, because there's a lot of headcanon in making that work.
But it is very much plot contrivance where he's on a planet that not only is got a green sun, but it has a yellow sun. It's orbiting twin suns. So it doesn't stop her forever. It just stops her long enough to move the story ahead without her being involved.
Yeah, would have been better if they just found a planet that just had a green sun instead of a green and a yellow. Whatever. Yeah, again, I didn't love that either. It's not a perfect script by any stretch of the imagination.
Kassan says, so kryptonite is self-populating. It breaks the laws of physics. No, I did say comic
Superman
book
breaks the laws of physics.
Yes. And by the way, it is comic book physics. And also, like they explained it that now the original time they did the Green Sun was a villain had put kryptonite into a core of a blue sun and made it green. But now in the comics, they've said there's just planets that have green suns because it was when Krypton blew up, pieces of kryptonite affected these suns' cores and made them green. So it is a thing. So, okay. So this is why I mentioned the uniform earlier. So, Ruthie brings her to a cave so that she's, to help shield her a little bit from the sun, and happens to have her Supergirl uniform with her and lays it down next to her. And she's like, oh, it's just an outfit. It doesn't do anything for me. And then, she goes off, has her adventure, her and Lobo sneak around the ship, blah, 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 blah. And of course, when all seems lost, now the yellow sun comes out, she gets her powers on. And this goes back. So when she is feeling better and she is ready to go fight, she puts on the suit that her cousin made for her, the Supergirl suit, and goes to fight. And so like that's your transformation moment, right? Like that's where she's accepting to be the hero, but I mean, I don't know, what did you think of that trope?
Worked for me.
Well,
it's embracing the dynamic.
Yeah,
you're embracing. Yeah.
Well, you said, Dave, that the suit had no purpose, right? It didn't do anything.
She said that. Yeah,
it didn't do anything, right? But it does. It makes sure Don doesn't come on a 100,000 subscriber podcast, review the movie, and say this Smallville-like piece of shit movie. Then I don't get to see somebody in their Superman outfit. Like, they had to put her in it. And it does. And just like you said, Dave, it absolutely is a signal of, nope, I'm a superhero. I'm going to do, I'm going to be the person Clark says I should be. My parents says I should be. And boom, I'm in the suit. I get it. It doesn't actually make sense, but we've mentioned it. Comic book logic. Okay.
Right.
This is the genre we love. I want to see my comic book character on the screen. They got to have their suit on in order to do it. So it does have a purpose. It makes Don happy. Because I like tropes.
It's as good a reason as any for her to put on the suit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not like she took a bath and then put the suit on, which would have made me happy.
She locked in her musty self. Yeah. Locked it in.
That jacket was rank.
Yeah.
That jacket is
I guarantee.
Rank. Absolutely stinks.
So, we get our final battle. She saves all the brides, as they keep calling them, all the Epstein girls.
Mm-hmm.
We have a big final battle. Then they take up weapons and help fight the girls too. So like, again, you can't show the girls fighting back, as you said at the beginning. But like, obviously we get to what we already alluded to, the final confrontation. Krem, Ruthie, and Kara are standing over Krem. She's gonna kill him. Ruthie's gonna kill him. She stops him. She goes, now walk away. Turn your back and walk away. And then she kills him, which you'd said is justice, but I also feel like it's where she crosses the line from superhero to anti-hero.
You could make that argument.
He hurt a dog. Fuck him. She should have flayed him alive, and I would have called her a hero.
Her dog.
Yeah.
No, I think that, again, I think it's important to set the dichotomy up, if anything, to make sure that we know just how pure Superman is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also to show that Kara that he will not cross, that she will, right? I think it's important that Supergirl is not just Superman with boobs. Like, it has to be, she has to be her own person with her own agency. And I think showing that she's willing to kill, especially that guy, that might be the most they say the original cut of the movie had more of a backstory for Carm and you understood a little more. I don't want that. I think we defang our villains too much. What was Dracula? Why did Dracula do what he did? Because he's fucking Dracula, right?
Right.
That's like, we need our villains to just be fucking villains sometimes. Sometimes people are just bad. Why did Epstein do the things he did? Because he's fucking evil. That's why.
And I agree. And I think this probably was a longer movie because it's an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah,
short.
So I feel like they did cut a lot of stuff out, and I think they did cut out maybe a scene where she did kill someone earlier in her life.
I feel like that's there. I feel like there's just so much of it there that I feel like that has to be on a cutting room floor or something. Like, and I do think it's a mistake taking it out. I do believe that.
That's why Batman seems to be more. Oh, good.
Well, because this is my old job. That's why Batman seems more well received. The scripts seem more grounded, and character arcs seem more important than boom, boom, pow. I think Batman's well received because he's more wish fulfillment than Superman. He's a billionaire who beats people up, and people want the idea that Batman is more grounded than Superman is ridiculous. And the fact that Batman also has a no-kill rule, but he'll maim the fuck out of you is just, I don't know. I think that sometimes we draw connections to make us feel better about the things that we think, when Batman is just as, especially if you read Batman, like they call him Bat God in the comics, because Batman has no powers, but he beats everybody, including Darkseid. So I mean, like, Batman is more well received because he's cool.
I think you can actually make an argument that in some cases Superman is more grounded than Batman because he's an alien. 100%. He has all these powers. Yeah.
Whereas Batman is a billionaire who helps people.
Yes, exactly. So
that's more ridiculous than the alien.
Yeah, exactly. Batman could do more good by just giving his fortune away than beating up bad guys. But hey, anyway, I digress.
That's such a weak ass argument because he's a fictional billionaire. Like, people, like, what? Okay, what would that do? Like, that argument is so stupid. Like, that is and I'm a true leftist, but when I hear stuff like that, I'm like, you're a fucking idiot. Like, why would you say something like that? Like, that doesn't, the fictional billionaire giving away his fictional billions doesn't do anything to help real people. You fucking idiot. Like, stop saying stupid shit to make yourself sound smart. Fucking moron.
I got a soundbite. Oh, I can't wait.
Oh yeah, please use that. I'm not on the show anymore, so if I can live on, I would appreciate that.
Oh, that's happening. So I already thought of getting them bringing the old one out, but we got a new one. All right.
Oh, that's right. These people are so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Why did I say that? What was I talking about?
Some comment about
no, because we turned it into you hulking out was the joke. But what was the?
You dumb motherfuckers.
It was some internet comment.
I was so worked up over something.
It was one of the reasons we kind of stopped slowing. We started slowing down with social media madness.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because we get the stupidest comments, and I feel like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? I was like, I was having a bad day, and like one person said something, and I was like, fuck that guy. Oh shit!
I was a listener still back then. I laughed my ass off.
So anyway, the movie wraps up. Obviously, Crypto gets the antidote. He saves, and then Kara decides to go back to Earth and says she's going to stay with Clark for a while. And this is my last criticism of the movie. I felt that, and I get it, it's an estranged relationship, but like that scene felt so awkward, especially the way it was filmed.
I think, but it is awkward because they don't really have a relationship. They're two people that met as adults that have this familial connection that isn't there. Like, it's like when you see your cousins that you haven't seen for a long time. Like, you have this familial bond, but it's not real. And I think it's two people that are saying, okay, let's try to actually like become family and make that conscientious decision. But we don't have anything. So it is weird, right? And they are remarkably different people. And I think that playing it off like long lost siblings, which they don't play it off like that. So I think it does create for an awkward moment, but it is an awkward moment.
And it's filmed that way on purpose. Like, they're in two
I think so
seats facing each other, and it's like they're showing back and forth. Yeah.
It's not a two-shot. A two-shot, like we talked, let's do some auteurism, some film theory, right? Film school, JD coming back. You do that in your two shots. Your one shot here, your one shot here, right? So you're creating a definite separation between the two. If you wanted them to seem simpatico, you would have a two-shot where they're talking like this, showing that they're on the same page. They're not on the same page. They have to get on the same page and haven't earned it yet. So you intentionally through the magic of editing and framing, create a dichotomy there. Right. And I thought that was actually a good, because it's awkward, and it is awkward, right? Because you have Corn Sweat is so sincere as Clark, so sincere. And Millie Alcock is way more world weary than her older cousin, right? And she plays it off very well like that. So I think that scene is two people who are, okay, let's try to repair this family.
Yeah.
But we don't really know each other all that well, So I do like that scene. It is awkward. it's an odd one to end the film on, but I think it kind of works because it's not really the end of a story. And my dumbass sat there through all the fucking credits, and there was no fucking post-credit sequence. And I should have looked it up. I always look it up, but I didn't this time, just assuming that there would be one. Fucking moron.
Well, at my age, I had to pee, so I looked it up, and I'm like, okay, good.
I held it like a man.
Yeah.
Just like I'm doing now.
So, yeah, I mean, it's funny because, like, you taught me that watching, being on this show, and I look at that stuff now, like, her being dirty, like, that's done on purpose because, you know, and the way they film that end scene, that's all done on purpose, you know, like, and yeah, it's, but it can be done on purpose, and I can see why they did it. I could still think like, I don't know. I still would like to see them.
Absolutely. Art is subjective, and you can either accept it. Like, you could say, I get it, I just don't like it. And that's perfectly fine. Like, I think we have this idea, especially when it comes to commercialism art, that it all has to land, right? And it doesn't. And we have to accept this, is that not all art lands. Like, there's sometimes you're gonna imbibe some type of art, and you're just gonna feel like Don's cat's ass, and it's just gonna be a butt in front of your face to you. Like, sorry, it was just I took it. And that's all art. Like, we all have things that connect with us, and we don't, and that's perfectly fine. You can sit there and say this is a fucking awful script, and you can point to all these things that you don't like, and you're not necessarily wrong, because all art is subjective.
I guess
I think the things that people are a bit much, but like you're well within your right to have the belief on something. You can, as long as you understand why something is there, and you can sort of say, well, I don't like that. And you'd be like, oh, okay. But choices are made, right? Like, artists have to make choices. What you do with those choices is on the consumer.
In my mind, how I wanted it to end, and then Don can chime in, is I wanted her to come in, maybe not necessarily give him a hug, but to say something to him along the lines of, like, you know, I've been thinking about it, and maybe you can help me find my people. You know, something along those lines. Like, she somewhat accepts what Clark has been saying all along. But I also get ending it that way and showing that it's still awkward gives us a little more room for her character to grow a little bit more in the future. So, I don't know. What did you think, Don?
I mean, it makes sense that it would be awkward. You know, she's not a character I like a lot. So, and I don't know a lot about her from the comics. So at this point, I was trying to figure out, like, is she going to now more align with how she was in the CW? I've talked to people that really like, you know, I talked to some people that were like, oh, I'm not going to see this movie because my Supergirl is the CW Supergirl. Oh, okay. So is she evolving more into that?
No, well, I think that the CW Supergirl is more aligned with the classic Supergirl.
Yeah.
And this is more aligned with the modern take on Supergirl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're not going to get the CW Supergirl at this point.
But I really don't get chemistry between those two. Like, we're calling it awkward. I don't see a whole lot of chemistry between two actors, but I think it works because of everything you guys said. Just think of that somewhat attractive cousin that you met or you haven't seen for 15 years.
Well,
and not to mention there are only 2 Kryptonians left, so that kind of comes with a little bit of like, I know we're cousins, but are we supposed to? I mean, anyway.
Frodo, I'm asking you to. You're going someplace I cannot follow.
Cousin marriage is legal in, I think, 5 states still in the United States.
Okay. But they're not from America. They're from Kryptonite. So the Targaryens.
I saw that posted.
But no, but obviously with Lois though, that's not even a thing. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, and that's another thing I also wanted to point out real quick. They obviously did not go with she got trapped in the Phantom Zone, and that's why she's still younger than Clark. Like,
no, I kind of like that.
She was born after him. You know, they didn't have to do any of the weird stuff with the Phantom Zone to make it work. So,
good. I'm glad that I thought for sure they would go with the Phantom Zone angle, and I'm glad they didn't. I'd like to kind of keep the Phantom Zone its own thing until we need it.
Go ahead,
JD. Kazan says she brought her House of the Dragon morals over to the DCU. Cousin fucking.
Yeah.
Kentucky morals.
Yeah.
James Burton says, I like the angle that I always thought that should be a bigger part. I agree.
So, all right. Well,
but goddamn, Dave Cornsweet is an absolutely wonderful
yes.
Superman Clark
I
Kent.
do love him as Superman Clark Kent. I agree with that.
All right, guys. Well, we did it. And JD,
you guys bring me back for 1 week, and it's 2.5 hours long. So the problem was always me. God damn it. Possibly. It was always me that was the issue with this show.
Not everybody thinks it's a problem.
I think Mike would agree too.
Yes, he does, actually.
All right. Well, we gotta do what we always do. We gotta go around the room. We gotta give it a score and our final thoughts. Since it is Supergirl, we can use capes. So 1 out of 10 capes. And of course, JD, you can go first.
7 3/4 of a cape.
Okay.
I liked it. I didn't love it. I liked it though.
Yeah. All right. Don.
I'm going with 7 capes. Yeah, didn't love it. Wasn't spectacular, but I was entertained. It was short. It was funny. Actually laughed. I liked the visuals. When the fighting. Outside of that, where everyone's face is black, that was a bit much, but okay, they're building some sort of scenery. But yeah, 7 out of 10 capes. I liked it.
As JD just said, it's choices. They made some choices when it came to the lighting in this movie, and it worked on some levels, didn't work on others. But I'm with you guys. I'll say 7.5. So I think we're kind of in line with what the audience score is for this. Like, you agree? It's not as good as Superman. It's not, but it's not the worst DC movie we've ever seen. Batman and Robin still exists.
Batman Superman versus Batman, BVS, The Dawn of Turds, that's still around. Wonder Woman, it's better than Wonder Woman 84. That was a steaming pile of shit. It's better than The Flash. That was fucking awful. Both movies.
I haven't gone back to watch Wonder Woman 84, but remember, I was going through some stuff when I watched that movie, and there were. I have to go back and watch it again to see if I still feel the same way.
Dave, I was just going through the regular COVID stuff like everybody else was. It fucking sucks. It's not a good movie. It's like one of the worst follow-ups ever. Because Wonder Woman's great. The first Wonder Woman. I'll speak for Michelle. Michelle's 9 out of 10. She loved the Supergirl movie.
Awesome.
Nice.
All right. Well, that's what we thought. Maybe we got it right. Maybe we got it wrong. Let us know in those comments down below what you thought. And on that note, we got to ask that question that we do every time we get together.
What do we learn on the show tonight?
So tell me, what did you learn? Do you have any recommendations? And JD, you can go first.
I learned that I am the problem. I can't shut the fuck up. And you get me around people that I like, I tend to talk a lot more. I also learned that I have a Kickstarter launching the Monday after next. It's going to be for Killing the Town, a grotesque folk horror novel. That's what it was called, and I like that term. It's mixing the world of professional wrestling and guttural horror. It's a fun little novella. You can pick that up on Kickstarter. You can buy the ebook. You can get the paperback. You can also get the limited edition hardcover. This will never be available in hardcover other than this book. You can also get the audiobook. Pretty happy with how this little AI audiobook came out. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I really like running these Kickstarter campaigns. I'm kind of back, now that I've cleared my space with all this school stuff. I'm whole hog back into the writing game. You're going to be seeing a lot more from me, Dave. I'm going to annoy you a lot because I'm going to keep stuff out there. And I love coming, and I learned that I do enjoy talking to my friends.
Awesome. Don?
I learned a lot. today, Dave. I learned that whenever we talk about anything remotely Superman related, that it'll always devolve in talking trash and complaining about Man of Steel.
Always.
Always.
I learned, or well, more aptly, I realized there's a JD verse, which is just a cool thought in general. So that's pretty cool. And then lastly, I learned that Thronkill is collecting Dune trading cards and asked,
That's
is it
a
bad
thing?
that I'm collecting Dune trading cards? That's my question, JD. But if it is true, yes, Thrawn, that is a bad thing. That is.
Are these like
Benny
modern? Are we talking Denny Villeneuve Dune cards? Or are these like old school David Lynch Dune cards?
Yeah, I don't know. So while we're still on air, Thrawn, if you're still with us, let us know. Did you get that Benny Gesserit foil? I don't know.
Oh, sorry. I forgot my job. Kassan says, speaking of House of the Dragon, are you all hyped about season 3 premiere? Now I kind of checked out in season 2 personally.
Frosty is. He's looking forward to it. And Kassan says the first show was awesome. Okay.
I'm excited for it, Kassan. That's one of those shows that I watch with my wife. So she watches them at a snail's pace.
One of these days I will finish Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
Never watched it.
Oh, it's a great show. It's a great show to watch with your significant other. And that's why I finished it.
That's an Apple.
No,
right?
no. Amazon Prime.
Oh, man, we never saw that one before. Yeah, we don't do enough of that. My wife loves Outlander. Like that's just her vibe. She's a big Outlander fan.
All right.
I watched a couple episodes. Not for me.
I learned a lot tonight. I learned that if JD comes on, yes, we're gonna go more than 2 hours. I learned that all of our regulars miss you so much. I want you to come back more often.
I will come back.
You're going to threaten me to come back? Then you got to come back. And recommendations. I've got 2 recommendations. First, go click on that link to that Kickstarter down below. Click follow so that you can keep an eye on this Kickstarter. John, if you're watching, I'm gonna send this to you.
I need to kill you again, John.
We need to kill you, John. I mean, JD needs to kill you. I also recommend, if you haven't done so yet, you got this far, click that like button, click that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss us when we go live here on Sunday nights.
Used to be up here. That's why I clicked up here at first. You moved.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we've got like 3 or 4 of them now. I just keep this one's at the bottom, so it's easy to click on. And then I also recommend that you make sure you check out X-Men 97 season 2 premiere. Coming out July 1st.
Yeah.
Because that is definitely what we will be talking about next week on this very podcast.
Spoiler alert, that's what we'll be raving about on the next podcast.
I hope so. No Bo DeMaio, so hopefully they can keep the good news going. Oh, Frosty says it was great seeing the gang again, minus John. Yeah, I miss John.
We all miss John. We don't know where he is. He's out in the world somewhere.
There, apparently.
I just knocked over my.
It would be an episode of Superhero Speak without the 100K play button falling down.
There's some poetry in there. I don't know where, but I'm sure you can make up some bullshit. I don't know.
I'll get it. I'll get it later. Fell behind my chair. Yeah. Anyway, on that note, boys and girls, as always, thanks for watching. Don't let your cape caught in the door. See you next time.
If you haven't done so yet, subscribe. It really keeps this podcast alive. Smash the like button if you please. It gives us what we need. Maybe leave a comment or 2. It's a really nice thing to do. And what are you waiting